for police reform, telling Congress he wants to see a measure passed by the one-year anniversary of George Floyd's death next month.
The Republican response from South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
Infrastructure spending that shrinks our economy is not common sense. Weakening our southern borders and creating a crisis is not compassionate.
President Biden follows up his speech with a rally in Atlanta this afternoon. More protests in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, over Andrew Brown Jr.'s fatal police shooting during an arrest last week.
Much more aggressive action from police officers and sheriff's deputies dressed in riot gear, armed with shields and what appeared to be pepper ball guns. For the second night in a row, some protesters stayed out past the city's 8 p.m. curfew, and officers forcefully pushed them off the streets. At least one person was arrested, but for the most part, protesters were peaceful as they called for police accountability.
Fox's Charles Watson. A judge yesterday ruled police body camera videos of the shooting will not be made public for at least 30 days. A New York City man is found guilty of threatening members of Congress. Brendan Hunt says videos and online posts calling for Democrats' public execution were not meant to be taken seriously. He could get up to 10 years in prison. He's sentenced in June. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Thursday morning. Traffic is slowing down in Sanibel on Tarpon Bay Road, heading southbound of Periwinkle Way, but very nice commute over the causeway. Should only take you 2 minutes to get to McGregor. Also, a congested spot in Fort Myers is Marsh Avenue, heading north towards Palm Beach Boulevard. Slower than usual. I would stick to Veronica Shoemaker if you're in a rush. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. You'll notice more humidity as you head out the door later on today. Plus that temperature near 90, a sea breeze. All of that will allow for a few showers to develop, mainly along and east of the I-75 corridor. Time-wise, I think primarily after 3 o'clock and wrapping up by 8. Now, we do see more opportunities for rain on Friday. Thunderstorms this weekend ahead of an approaching cold front. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Stevens.
92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
See why homeowners and contractors choose Rock Solid for the finest countertops. Now with our newly expanded showroom, making your home improvement experience even better.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 J&C Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
2, 4, 6. It's the $8,000 trade-in event. $8,000. For 4 days only, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral are giving you $8,000 more than book value for your trade. Thursday through Sunday, only Florida's #1 Nissan dealer can give you more money than your stimulus and tax refund combined. Bring in any trade, regardless of year, make, or model, whether it's a loan, lease, or paid off. How can you possibly pass this opportunity up? Nobody pays you $8,000 more than anything is worth. Nobody, except Sutherland Nissan. Bring in any trade, regardless of year, make, or model, whether it's a loan, lease, or paid off. The $8,000 trade-in event absolutely ends 7 p.m. Sunday. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and we've got my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And Dave, I got to tell you, the selection of floor coverings of Floor Meisters, unbelievable, fantastic. I've seen it myself, and the choices are there. But what we really want to talk about today is this Dreamweaver line of carpets. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what, Drew, this is the hottest thing since 5-buckle overshoes. We're just selling the heck out of it. Comes in 9 different patterns, 12 colors to a pattern. It has 8 warranties, and it even includes steps. The stain warranty will take care of wine, mud, and even pet accidents. So this is perfect for Jake.
Yeah, perfect for Jake, and perfect for me, and perfect for you, too. If you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, really owe it to yourself to visit their store, see their selection of Dreamweaver carpets. It's there at 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco. And whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Brad McDaniel here, the second generation of Kenmark Air. Kenmark Air is celebrating 25 years professional, honest, and top-rated service in Southwest Florida. To celebrate, Kenmark Air has its own branded air conditioning system, the K. McDaniel Series, named after our father, Ken McDaniel. The K. McDaniel Series is a completely coated outside system with storm protection, and for a limited time, we're offering 25% off qualifying high-efficient K. McDaniel systems. Call today for a free in-home estimate, 239-437-7040, and online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skill sets to help you find the right candidates faster. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida, Drew Steele.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. If you want to watch, we appreciate you doing that. Steele has 3 E's. Also, Facebook, we're there as well. A lot of people still want to go there, so we're there at Drew Steele Radio. The president last night giving his, the address to Congress, the first time. And presidential, solid, inspiring. I'm sorry, I can't use it. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. Look, it's easy for me to say that. It's easy for you to say that. There are those that are going to listen to this program that are Democrats, that are lefties. Sorry, did I say left? I know. Some people don't like that I use the word lefties because they're left-handed, and it's like, hey, I'm a lefty. Don't say lefty. Say leftist. Okay. That are communists. How's that? Socialists, progressives, that expect that we are going to pan what Joe Biden said last night, how he approached the American people last night. That's to be expected. But to be quite honest, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody who thought that it was good. Boring. It was... Look, it's the way that the Wall Street Journal in their editorial piece described it, the lead in the story. It's Biden's cradle-to-grave government. There were moments that will play some clips, but the one thing that we all have to recognize after yesterday, what we've been hearing for the past weeks and months, is that Joe Biden is no lunch bucket Joe, middle-class guy, semi-moderately conservative in values, and so he's a safe bet, and if he becomes president of the United States, everything's going to be fine. We're not going to fall off a cliff. It'll just be we'll ride the fence a little bit until we get to 2022, and then we can get back on track again. The fact of the matter is Joe Biden has never been a conservative in any way, has never been middle of the road in any way, and many people believe that he was at one point. You just didn't know Joe. That's all it is. You thought you knew who Joe Biden was, and you don't. And the other thing is that it's clear that one of two things. Either Joe Biden has always been a big-time progressive and just has been hanging out in the Senate, and nobody knew it in all the years and decades and really didn't do anything consequential, and so nobody really was paying attention and never thought he would be in this position because he's, a 3-time loser in primaries before, and so he wasn't really a threat. Or there are other things going on here, like Joe Biden was. But Joe Biden is an old, doddering guy who just wants to be president of the United States and was willing to sign off on whatever was put in front of a teleprompter or was ever put on the desk because really that's the agenda. Yeah, it's a little bit of both maybe because that is what's happening. The progressives are running the show. It's sort of like Bernie Sanders is sitting back and going, go, Joe, go.
This is what you do.
That's what you do. But at the same time, man, Joe Biden wants to leave a legacy. He desperately wants to leave a legacy, and he wants that legacy to be, what, his childhood? Everything you're about to hear and the things that we're going to talk about today will be these roadways and these paths that will lead you to a single destination. And the destination is that Joe Biden wants to create FDR on steroids, wants to create cradle-to-grave government on steroids. And I'm going to make some points today that as I've been talking to people a lot smarter than me, and there are many, the one conclusion that I keep coming back to is that in all the things that you heard last night and all the things that are promised and where we're going to get the money from and who are the bad guys and who are the good guys and all the jobs that are going to be created because the government creates jobs. You like that one? Said Democrats always, but said no one ever who has a tiny bit of common sense and reason and really understands how things work. But that there are going to be things that you'll recognize and that I'll mention that we're really going to have to decide when it comes to certain aspects of our society, what we're willing to do to get ahead, to make a living, and abandon our families and our values in the process. And I know what I'm probably going to say coming up is not going to be received very well by many. Maybe because you won't see my point, or maybe you will. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so where do you want to start in this mess? Do you want to start with a little morning? Do you want Joe? Jake. I called Jake Joe. Why would I do that? Jake the millennial. Do you want to start with a morning cup of Joe, a little fun, a little of the gaff machine that is Joe Biden, or do you want to start with some of the meat and potatoes? Where do you want to go for the next couple of minutes before we go to a break? Where do you want me to kick this up? You want a little meat?
Yeah, because I tried to watch it last night, and I was like, you know what? No.
You can't do it.
Can't.
It was hard. Did you know?
My brain started hurting.
And by the way, as you were watching, did you notice something that was blatantly obvious to anyone that was on cable TV except for the left, which is everybody in the room's vaccinated. And they're all wearing masks, and they're not socially distancing. I thought we weren't supposed to do that. I'm watching Joe Biden getting close to people. They're all gathered around him. All the other Democrats are all wearing masks, but they're all vaccinated. So wait a minute. We're not supposed to be in crowds or gathering together indoors at all. You have to wear a mask, but you're all vaccinated. So doesn't that send a really poor message that why are we vaccinating if we can't get close to people and we still have to mask up? Well, because we're indoors, Druid. But then why are we vaccinating? Like what? The messaging has been just bizarre with this. Like you're all vaccinated, every one of you. What are you worried about? Well, you have to worry. I mean, it's the vid. Yeah, but I thought if you get the vaccine, we don't have to worry. But that's the reason why we're all doing this, right? Is because if we get vaccinated, we're good. Well, you're not really good. Well, then what are we doing? I don't know. That maybe that was just me. You didn't notice that?
I mean, to be fair, I was looking at them and I thought they were extremely far apart, referring to the people in the crowd.
No, I was talking about when he came into the room and they were all getting together. You didn't go.
Dude, I
okay.
literally clicked in it halfway through.
All right. No.
5 minutes and cut it off.
No, I wasn't talking about when they were sitting. I'm talking about when he first enters the room and, they're greeting everybody and they're all getting together and the camera's really close and you can see, how close everyone is. Anyway.
I wasn't even really paying attention until someone came in and then handed Nancy a note. And then she handed the note back and then reached over and pushed her mic down. And it was weird to me. And then the next scene is they cut over to Hunter Biden. I don't even know why he was there.
Well, I mean, maybe he's not doing anything right now. Maybe he's just kind of sitting back and, that's
ran out of Parmesan cheese to smoke, I guess.
I didn't know you can smoke Parmesan cheese.
He didn't either.
239-479-5592. Wow. All right. So as I'm looking at the time, I'm wondering, do we take a break and come back and then play some nuggets? Or, we should probably do that because, all right, why don't you do that? Let's take a break right now. And then we'll come back. That'll give us some time on the other side. And then I'll do a little bit of everything. I'll give you a little bit of the gaff machine. I'll give you some of the substance. And here's what you need to know. $1.8 trillion on this latest plan that is going to create a cradle-to-grave government that somehow we're supposed to believe is a good thing? Well, yeah, because, you'll get to go to work, right? Isn't that what you want? You're having lots of kids, but you got to get to work and childcare. I mean, the government's going to provide it. Do you not see that there's something wrong here? Yeah, I know. It's part of what I'm going to bring up that you may or may not like, but we'll talk about that coming up. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Good Thursday morning. Traffic is slowing down in Sanibel on Tarpon Bay Road, heading southbound of Periwinkle Way, but very nice commute over the causeway. Should only take you 2 minutes to get to McGregor. Also, a congested spot in Fort Myers is Marsh Avenue heading north towards Palm Beach Boulevard. Slower than usual. I would stick to Veronica Shoemaker if you're in a rush. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. If I can wrap up your forecast in a few words, it's hot, humid, chance of rain. We have a few showers developing after about 3 o'clock, primarily along and east of I-75. More shower activity expected by Friday and as we head toward the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Food delivery apps raked in the cash during the worst days of the pandemic, with apps like DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber cooking up $51 billion in sales last year. But a report set to be published today by Social Sciences Research Network says with restrictions lifting, the apps are likely to take a huge hit. Things are looking up, though, for the U.S. cruise industry. The CDC says it's committed to letting ships resume operations by midsummer. Instead of cruising, people have been hitting the road in RVs. The industry association says sales reached a record of nearly 150,000 RVs during the first quarter. And stocks fell yesterday after the Federal Reserve held interest rates steady. The Dow lost 164 points. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
It's a dangerous time in big cities like New York, L.A., Chicago, San Francisco, and more. Now, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax TV exposing the truth in his series Cities on Fire. Watch Rob Schmidt tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern and see his Cities on Fire special on Newsmax TV. Now on all major cable systems. Get Newsmax free on smart TVs, Roku, Pluto, Zumo, or YouTube. Or download the free Newsmax app on your phone and start watching. Newsmax is real news for people.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
Being the most experienced, Dr. David C. Brown's Eye Centers of Florida has conducted many FDA studies since 1971, including the first to perform laser cataract surgery, multifocal lens for cataracts, HD lens for distance clarity and accuracy, genetic screening for macular degeneration, the studies for implantable contact lenses, and dozens more. A world of better vision is right here in Southwest Florida. Dr. David C. Brown's Eye Centers of Florida, clearly the right choice.
When the expected comes calling, bounce forward with Comcast Business, the network that can divide gig speeds to the most businesses, and bounce forward with the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next. Go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Hello, I'm a unicorn. Yes, one of those. Everyone's trying to find me, but most can't, unless they're ZipRecruiter. If you've hired before, you understand it's quite hard to find a unicorn. You know, someone who's perfect for your role, but somehow ZipRecruiter manages to do it fast. Talk about magical. And right now, you can go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. ZipRecruiter's technology finds candidates with the right experience, like me, and actively invites them to apply to your job. ZipRecruiter knows you want more more than just great resumes. You want brilliant people who can help your business shine. That's why they make hiring these people easy. But I'm just a majestic unicorn. Don't take my word for it. Listen to him.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. But what does that really mean for our clients, for you? It means that when you hire us, you don't just get a lawyer, you get a legal army, almost 800 lawyers alone. Your case is a big deal to us. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Well, guys, a lot of people have road trips planned this summer, but I just saw that gas stations all over the country could run out of gas in the coming months. It's going to be a tough summer, especially because gasoline is the main ingredient in White Claw Surge.
Wait, what? What's a White Claw Surge? All right, so it's Jake just perked up, and you just perked up so much you broke the microphone. Go ahead.
It happens here.
Yeah.
White Claw is it's like a seltzer. It's really.
And does it taste like gasoline? Is that what you're trying to suggest? That it's what Jimmy Fallon's trying to suggest?
He's not wrong.
He's not. Is it that bad? That White Claw Surge tastes like gasoline.
Not that I've drank in glass.
Yeah, right, exactly. You would, but if you would imagine what gas would taste like, apparently it tastes like what you just said. Anyway, 239-479-5592. All right, the speech last night. Listen, it's it's not we the people, it's we the government. Did Joe Biden really say that? Yeah, he did, and other things. Let's do it. It's a little bit of the speech last night. First, let's start with your morning cup of Joe.
Sit back with your morning cup of Joe.
Not a joke. America's moving forward, but we can't stop now. We're in competition with China and other countries to win the 21st century. We're at a great inflection point in history. We have to do more than just build back better. We have to build back better.
We have to do what?
We have to do more than just build back better.
Yeah.
We have to build back better.
I think he meant betterer. We did this. Listen, Joe Biden, with this movie's playing out. We got China and people are going to be eating our lunch. And so if we don't be careful, so we got to not just build back better, we have to build back better. Maybe he missed all the other R's on the teleprompter. So there you go. We not only have to build back better, we have to build back better. Yeah, so that's if you're wondering how the speech went last night, there's a little bit of Joe. He said some other things. Again, when he said this.
Well, it's time to remember that we, the people, are the government. You and I. Not some force in a distant capital. Not some powerful force that we have no control over. It's us. It's we, the people.
No. That's not. It wasn't it Ted Cruz who was on last night who got all passionate and went about that, right? He said,
the most radical line tonight was when Joe Biden said, we the people is the government. No, Joe, you seriously misunderstand the Constitution. We the people is not the government. We are not a country of dictators in Washington running the people. We the people is the people, damn it, who are in charge of the government, whose freedom you're taking away, whose liberty you're stripping away, and it showed the arrogance of the hard left.
Yeah. I got to tell you that when you listen to some of the pundits and politicians, I don't know if I've ever heard pundits and politicians as angry and passionate as they are now, ever. I think now what's happening to this country, because they realize what's happening. And when Joe Biden tells you in a speech that will be on the record for eternity, let's remember that, right? This is on record. This will be part of the national record for eternity. This isn't something that popped up on a Twitter account someplace or something that was just out there as a conversation with MSNBC or somebody like that. No, this is on the official record of the United States. This is the president of the United States who's saying, we the people is the government. And there are going to be people that are going to listen to that even last night, and half the country, maybe more, are going to look and go, he's right. But he's not. He's completely wrong. And again, it's the way the left has been twisting around words, fine quality footwear is infrastructure. No, it's not. No, it's not. Roads and bridges, we got to rebuild back the crumbling roads. Well, what crumbling roads and bridges? We have to spend trillions of dollars on crumbling roads and bridges? Well, that's because it's really not trillions of dollars and it's not needed. And dare I say, probably the billions that the government wants to spend. And even this is Republicans, and I'll say it. Crumbling roads and bridges. We have to repair our infrastructure. Really? Can we just point out where it is that there's a problem and we can just fix those? And instead of just making this grandiose comment that we've been making for years and years and decades, when nobody can actually point to it because nobody's actually said that. Hey, can you show me exactly where that is? Are we allowed to do that? We're allowed to question that, right? Yeah, there's more. It gets worse. He talks about his relationship with Xi of China. And it's like, yeah, we know. And Hunter's in the audience going, Ixnay on the... Okay. So we'll get to some of that coming up. And your calls, maybe your thoughts. Did you watch the president in the speech last night? Tell me what you think. Coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place, but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. In studio with us, Dr. Michael P. Varveris. You can find Dr. Varveris online at mddocv.com. Talk to us a little bit, well, like Salt and Pepper sang, let's talk about sex, baby. But specifically, Dr. Varveris, talk to us about what you do for men and hormones.
Well, first off, hormones move around in the blood, but they work in the tissues. So what really matters is the tissue level and not the blood level. Now, when you're taking testosterone, whether it's a tablet or an injection or a cream or a pellet, the blood level is pretty much worthless. Most doctors don't understand this, and patients end up getting horribly overdosed. When patients overdose, the extra testosterone is converted to estrogen. Estrogen levels increase. Also, quite often, the red blood cell count increases. Doctors commonly will add a drug to block the estrogen or recommend phlebotomies to remove the excess blood. So if you're a man on testosterone and your doctor is measuring blood levels or putting you on a drug to block estrogen or recommending phlebotomies, you really do need to see me.
Visit him online today, mddocv.com. Again, that's mddocv.com.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. You are intelligent. You make all the right decisions. You were smart before smart was cool, and you made it cool again. You have a wealth of knowledge, and you are so very clever. I bet you already knew I was going to say that, you genius. There, don't you feel better? You'll also feel better when you hear you could save big when you switch to Progressive. But I'm pretty sure you already knew that, too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Lillian Wu. President Biden, in his first address to Congress, making a pitch for a major expansion of federal programs to be paid for by a tax increase on wealthier Americans.
Last night, the president unveiled the American Families Plan, $1.8 trillion in tax credits and spending on pre-K, free community college, and family and medical leave. That follows a more than $2 trillion proposal for infrastructure and a series of other provisions, and the $1.9 trillion pandemic and economic plan.
Fox's Rich Edson, according to Senator Tim Scott in the GOP response.
Biden's agenda is further dividing the country, and he called on governments to reopen schools. Scott also knocked Democrats for blocking his police reform amendments last year.
And the World Health Organization says more than 1 billion doses of COVID vaccine have been administered around the world, but 82% were to high and upper middle income countries. America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News traffic.
A crash in Fort Myers at Daniels and Metro is slowing traffic at the intersection. If you are heading this way, tack on a couple extra minutes to your commute. Also, that slowdown on Daniels west of Tree Line to get onto I-75. Crash as well in Bonita Springs on Bonita Beach Road at Oakland Drive. There is congestion heading eastbound on Bonita Beach Road to get onto the interstate. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. You'll notice more humidity as you head out the door later on today. Plus that temperature near 90, a sea breeze. All of that will allow for a few showers to develop, mainly along and east of the I-75 corridor. Time-wise, I think primarily after 3 o'clock and wrapping up by 8. Now, we do see more opportunities for rain on Friday, thunderstorms this weekend ahead of an approaching cold front. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
All right, folks, step right up. Step right up. You're not going to believe your ears. Today only I'm offering you air conditioning service for only $29. That's right. I'll send this cute little chimp dressed in overalls to check out your AC for just $29. That's not all, folks. With all the rebates and discounts of up to $5 quadrillion, you can get a super-duper system for next to nothing. I'll even throw in the magic UV light for free.
Don't be fooled by AC companies offering deals too good to be true. Kobe Cooling urges you to shop around before buying into the hype about government rebates and discounts. Kobe Cooling is an honest, family-owned business with NATE-trained and certified technicians, not clean and tuned salesmen. Kobe gives you a great product, professional, honest service at a fair price without all the sales pitches. Kobe Cooling, the most trusted name in the business since 1949. Call 482-1542, 482-1542, or go online to kobecooling.com. License number CAC 1813722.
Brian, whatever it takes. Things seem to get more expensive as the years go by. Take groceries. Prices are up by 36%. And keeping up with your health, that's up too by 54%. But did you know at FPL what you pay for energy has gone down 10% over the last 15 years? And they're not cutting corners either. They're investing in energy that's not just the most reliable or the cleanest, but also the most affordable. See how we're keeping your bill lower than most states at fpl.com/value.
Youthful, energetic, happy, sexual, strong, physical, no fear, taking the bull by the horns.
Old, tired, joint aches, overweight, wrinkled, depressed, sex. I remember what that was.
In men, low testosterone can lead to muscle loss, extra body fat, fatigue, depression, and erectile dysfunction. In women, hormonal imbalance can similarly cause extra fat around your middle and thighs, lack of desire, feminine dryness, and exhaustion. Suboptimal hormone levels are associated with the development of disease states like osteoporosis, heart disease, and stroke. At Neogenics, we specialize in testosterone, growth hormone promoters, bioidentical hormones, and nutritional programs designed to correct these imbalances and make you feel revitalized. See why patients from across the country are coming to Neogenics and take the first step to feeling great again. Call Neogenics for a free consultation at 277-9999 or find us online at neogenicmd.com. That's 277-9999. Neogenics, rediscover your youth.
These grapes are great. Hey, grocery guy, are these fresh?
You should know. You've eaten enough of them.
I always sample the grapes.
You've practically eaten a whole bag, sir.
So what are you going to do about it, grocery guy?
Watch your head while getting in the squad car, sir.
Well, officer, I thought the grapes were free.
At Rock Solid, your sink is free, along with free bathroom countertop materials. Just pay for installation when you get kitchen countertops.
Grapes aren't free, but bathroom countertop materials are at Rock Solid.
JNC Boulevard, Naples, rocksolidnaples.com or 596-7676. Rock Solid, where you always get more.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money. Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. We entrepreneurs are always improving our listening skills. My dad told me at age 29, Michael, you're a man now. You're about to be married. You have responsibilities. You'd be a fool to start your own business. I did what any loving son would do. I started 5 of them. I didn't listen to my dad, but I have learned to lift successful business. Patriot Software created accounting software to help non-accountants like me keep accurate accounting records. Go to patriotsoftware.com. Use promo code XM and get software free. That's patriotsoftware.com. PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
We went immediately down to the area the highest probability would be. They were on ATVs, and they're pretty loud if you're on the ATV. So you have a pretty loud decibel range coming off the engine, and you're not going to hear a human voice range. I stopped them and just alerted them, hey, did you hear that? And they kind of looked at me with a little disbelief, apprehensive because time is so valuable in a search.
Do you think your expertise in audio helped you kind of know?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why I wanted to look.
This is a great story for you, Jake. You see, for all of you individuals out there, it doesn't make a difference what age you are right now. From all the youths that listen to this program, yeah, I said youths, to all the adults that have been chastised, talked down to by maybe their parents in the past or others. I'm not saying this is a personal thing, but maybe a little bit. Who told you that as a musician, you'll amount to nothing, I'll tell you. You need to go get a college degree. You need to go spend 4 years of your own money, because I'm not paying for the college. But don't you be a musician, because no way, shape, or form will you ever amount to anything. Well, here's something. A guitarist from a Florida rock band called Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Have you ever heard of them? No. Okay. Anyway, the guy's got this excellent hearing, and so there was a person who went missing. And so rescuers were looking for the guy in a wooded area right next to the home of this guy. And he said playing and recording music for so long had forced him to hone his listening skills. So he went outside. He heard something that sounded like it could be a person, told the cops where it came from, found the guy. It was because of his hearing. As a musician, Jake, solved crimes. So maybe that. So what? Here's the lesson for you kids. 2 lessons. Number 1, the big important lesson is if you're telling your family that you want to be a rock musician, that this is what you want to do and you want your future, don't tell them that. Tell them that you want to investigate crimes, and then this way they'll allow you to do it. You're a crime, and use this story as the example. And of course, second and the most important part of this is don't do drugs. All right, anyway, so that's good. So we've got all of that out of the way. We did a good service here today. I feel like my job is done. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
As I'm walking off screen. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele with 3 E's if you want to watch me walk off the screen. All right, let's see. A couple of other stories. Oh, hey, coming up this morning. Did parents in Vail, Arizona show the country how to do it when you have an out-of-control school board and you're trying to make a change and you are not being heard, And just like that, you get what you want because you're the parents, you're the ones that pay the salaries, and maybe they in Colorado taught us here in Southwest Florida a valuable lesson. It's one that people are going to question, but man, they changed the whole school board in one day. Yeah, they did. Wait till you hear this story. It's crazy. All right, we'll get to that coming up. In the meantime, I do want to touch on a couple of important aspects of the president's speech last night, and really the meat of really what happened. And even if I'm not playing, the actual meat in the speech itself, because it's going to be, it's pretty much the country is systemically racist. We got to fix things. We have only this opportunity. We've got to spend, and the rich are evil, and they're that you know what that's all. But there's more to the story. I mean, I could certainly play some of the gaffes. I mean, it's
when I was president, when I was vice president. The president asked me to focus on providing help needed to address the root.
I can't concentrate when he says when he was president, but he was vice president, and then he was talking about the president when he was vice president. When you have that whole thing going on, and then when people are talking about, listen, we can spend all the money, and he forgets the name of bills.
The last piece of legislation we passed. But let's extend that child care tax credit at least through the end of 2025.
Yeah, he didn't even know the last one that was passed. So he's talking about aspects of the last bill that was passed. That last bill, that thing that I forgot the name of and all that kind of. I mean, I could go down all right. But I don't want to do that. Here's what I really do want to do. I really want to focus on what Joe Biden is radically doing, what the left is radically doing, how, unfortunately, there are going to be some tough conversations we're going to have. We're going to have this morning. One of the tough conversations is this. Elections have consequences. It's why it's so important that if you feel like your voices are not being heard in places like Tallahassee or in places like Washington, D.C., maybe Tallahassee is not the right place, but more like on a national level, then you have to realize that local is more important than ever because it's local. The local is the farm team, that goes to Tallahassee, that goes to Washington, D.C., that makes changes. It's how you, quote unquote, fundamentally transform the country is by concentrating locally. And if you think that your voice isn't heard, let me tell you something. Locally, yeah, it's heard. And there's a lot of things that are happening locally that affect you directly more than what's happening at a national level. And if you're looking for change, so when people say elections have consequences, they do. And if we're going to be honest about the last election and of course, election integrity and the concerns there and how in Arizona they're starting to do audits and and Democrats are trying to push back. And now we come to find out that legally a judge has said when the Democrats were saying, yeah, the audit has to stop because, and the judge is like, nope, keep going. So some huge victories for trying to get to the truth and election integrity, where people will say, oh, the election's over. Why are you doing this? You crazy tinfoil hat, QAnon, blah, 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 blah. And people on the left are like, yeah, QAnon. It's like, what is it? I don't know, but it's a bad thing to say about a Republican, so I'm running with it. Okay, yeah, exactly. It still continues, and the fight needs to take place. So good for them in Arizona for continuing to do that. But on the other side is the very important issue of what is happening not only at the local level, but at the national level. And that when you say elections have consequences, unfortunately, even after the election, 2022 is important to start the change that needs to happen to get where we want to be as a country, to get back to the rule of law and the Constitution, and to understand how that benefits everybody. It's not like the Constitution and the rule of law only affects one side. That's the most moronic thing to think about. When you talk about the greatest country on the face of the planet and the one that creates wealth and creates the opportunity to enjoy that wealth, to be able to do whatever it is you want to do. Like, I don't have to go through the whole speech, but you know what I'm saying. That unfortunately, 2022 is going to have to be a point where we're going to have to elect individuals, conservatives, I didn't say Republicans, conservatives, that understand the Constitution, the rule of law, to fight to change what Joe Biden is going to do right now in radically, fundamentally changing this country, understand that they how do I say this the right way? I don't think Democrats care about losing in 22 because they know their time is now. Let me say that again because I think that's important. I don't think that Democrats care about 2022, where we are focusing and saying 18 months, an election is coming up, 2022 is going to be so important that we get the House back and the Senate, and then in 24, we're going to be able to get the White House back. Democrats are looking at this. I'm talking about the progressives. I'm not talking about those who are lifers, who love the job of politics and want to keep the job because they like the job and they like the paycheck and they like the bennies and all that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those who actually care about doing something in this country. They're doing it now. That Democrats believe that 2022 doesn't matter because when you hear the things that Joe Biden wants to do in the cradle-to-grave government that he is trying to create, that he will create if a lot of these trillion-dollar spending packages are passed, that they've won. It's over for them. In other words, go ahead, lose in 22. It doesn't matter because two things do matter. Number one, that this agenda needs to be pushed right now, and I can easily make the case from progressives themselves out of their own mouth that they need to be big and bold and do it now. Now's the time. That's number one. And number two, it doesn't matter if they lose in 2022. The tentacles are already dug in. Obamacare. Do I need to mention Obamacare? Do I need to mention that Republicans ran on repealing and replacing Obamacare? Do I need to remind you how that turned out? So I'm making the suggestion that they don't care. They've won. The battle to them is over because they know, unless we could change this, they know that nobody's going to come along and repeal this. Mitch McConnell is talking tough. What's Mitch McConnell's tough talk? What was the headline from yesterday? I don't know, I have to find it. Mitch McConnell's comments on the president in his speech. Biden's broken his unity promise. So what? I mean, ultimately, so what? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything to a party that's won, that is in the process of destroying this country. They're going to do it as long as there are Republicans around. I didn't say conservatives. I said as long as there are Republicans around who are not going to repeal a dang thing. Yeah, I said dang. And Jake just perked up. I mean, I know that's tough talk. That's tough language from me. Sorry. You know me, I don't cuss. But do you see what I'm saying? They've already won. They don't need to win 22 because you won't change anything. This is what they think. This is why it's more important than ever to concentrate locally on the people that we elect. That is the farm team. The representatives that go to Tallahassee, that's the farm team. The congressmen that go to Washington, D.C., that will be from the farm team, that will do something to fight back against this eventually, that will repeal and will replace and will not make lip service out of it, but actually do it. You know, and a couple of points, again, Wall Street Journal, two things out of the Wall Street Journal and opinion pieces, and I just want to read these, and then I'll go to your calls, 239-479-5592. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for that because I know Mel and Kate Cole is calling because I think this is important because Tim Scott gave the Republican response and where the president had a lot of things to say, cradle-to-grave government and $1.8 trillion and we have to spend and billionaires are going to pay for it and your taxes aren't going to go up, which is a joke, and so many of the other things that we know. Tim Scott, Republican, South Carolina, Senator, gave the Republican response. And to what ended up happening is Twitter decided to, because Twitter is, is where you go to get not only all the information that is the arbiters of truth. I can't even say it with a straight face, but also where all the racists come out to talk. And Twitter doesn't seem to care about that. When you look at and see that Uncle Tim is trending right now. And Mel wanted to comment on this. And what about that, Mel? You know, Tim Scott, even CNN and Jake Tapper was saying it was a hopeful message. It was a good message. It was a well thought out message. And yet there are people that are saying some of the most outrageous, horrific things about him.
Well, I think one of the most brave things or cowardice things someone can do is hide behind a fake name, hide behind a fake picture, and spew their racism and think that they have the position to lecture a black man like Tim Scott on what he should and should not say. I thought the speech was fine. I think it could be debatable whether or not systemic racism still exists in the United States of America, but under no circumstance should any person, a non-black person, whether a black person should or shouldn't, feel comfortable ever calling a black U.S. senator a sellout or an Uncle Tom or put pictures of like minstrel show characters. This is actually happening. And, you know, for conservatives or progressives who may be listening to your radio station, you know, you can have a disagreement, but I'm going to look at you as a racist if you feel you have a position or a place to tell anyone who is black how they should think or how they shouldn't think, what they should believe, what they shouldn't believe. And if they talk off script, you feel it's okay to act that way. And I actually blame black progressives or black Democrats, and I hope you have a few that listen so they can really understand this. When you allow someone to feel comfortable in their racism towards Tim Scott or even Representative Byron Donalds, which I've been monitoring, like, you know, comments against him, and they're appalling from people who live in Lee County, who identify themselves as old white liberals, spewing their racism against him, and you allow that. That speaks more to your character than it does to Tim Scott's character. I defended Barack Obama regardless of if I agree with him or disagree with him, because I don't think he should have any racial animosity brought towards him other than people having a political disagreement. And that's not happening by progressives on the left when it comes to black conservatives on the right. And they've done it to Candace Owens, where a professor at a college tweeted a Klansman's head at her. And if that was a conservative, then that person would have lost their job. Yeah. This person did not lose their job.
Yeah.
So I'm frustrated about it. So as you can tell.
No, I can, and there's a couple of things with just what you said. I can't think of one single person, Mel, that would have given Democrats or anybody the idea that there's a certain way that blacks should vote. There's a box that everybody needs to be put in. Who did that? Like, who would give people the idea of doing that?
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Yeah, maybe it started there. Well, it didn't start there, but that was said, and that doesn't seem to be a problem. That's all put aside. It was even put aside by the host that was talking about the issue at the time.
Well, that was the irony about this whole thing is a lot of people are going after Tim Scott, a 50-something black U.S. senator, when he's speaking against a guy who has a history of bigotry, and Joe Biden, who's in his late 70s and an older white guy. He's personally responsible for the 94 crime bill that a lot of black folks bring up that led to mass incarceration.
Well, Mel, and something else, and I'm looking at the time because I just want to make sure I have enough time, but I wanted to say this as well and then have you comment on this, which is this. Why can't every single person explain their circumstances in life, how they were raised, the experiences that they've had, and where they are today, no matter where they are on the political spectrum, and then be able to look at that individual and say, well, that's their circumstance, and let's examine their circumstance, either side. But for some reason, the left tells us that, no, Tim Scott can't have that view. What he's talking about is because and then you fill in all the racist tropes and everything else that go along with it to suggest that he doesn't know what he's talking about, Mel. How do we get to that place? You see that all the time.
Well, we get to that place because, there are some people, whether they be Republican or Democrat, who feel that's their only avenue to getting relevance is to be the quote-unquote black guy in the room. I have stopped identifying myself with political parties. I am a conservative, and I do vote in terms of what my issues are. However, I do believe that it's because it's been allowed by people like a Maxine Waters, or it's been allowed by people, to his demise, John Lewis, where they were okay with Dick Durbin calling Tim Scott a token, where they should have pulled him to the back and said, you don't have the right to call this black man who's a U.S. senator, who's your equal, a token, but they allowed it.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think that it should be something that, regardless of what you believe, it should be allowable. So I think that's the reason why.
Yeah. No, Mel, we always appreciate a call, and thanks so much. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. We got to take a break right now. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Rush Limbaugh.
For real people. You will remember what happened in 2013 when Los Angeles educators decided to hand out taxpayer-funded iPads, supposedly to help low-income students. The iPad program cost over $1 billion, and guess what happened next? Large numbers of iPads soon went missing or were reported stolen. Teachers were never properly trained on how to use them. Many didn't see the need for them. Internet access in the schools was spotty. The iPad for Poor Kids program ended up as a total disaster. Even the Los Angeles Times called it ill-conceived and half-baked. Well, now New York State is about to embark on a new program. They're going to give free tablets to all of their inmates in prison. Supposedly, these tablets will not be able to connect to the internet all the time. There will be controlled access so that prison inmates can email loved ones to help them stay in touch. And they'll be allowed to purchase ebooks, videos, and other entertainment. Yes. Now, anybody with a brain can predict where this is going. Before it happens, you put this kind of technology in the hands of criminals in prisons already overrun by gangs and all sorts of deadly miscreants. It's not going to end well. We haven't even talked about pornography yet. But when liberals fail at something, folks, they never learn the lesson. They double down and they fail up and keep failing up until they get to the top of the failure ladder.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1884 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1884 O silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. Only a limited quantity of these Morgan silver dollar coins are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-937-4707 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1884 O Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic O mint mark of the New Orleans Mint. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1884 O silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 137 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-937-4707. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-937-4707 now to secure your 1884 O Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-937-4707.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-269-3394. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394.
It's Rockstar Harley's pre-owned red tag sale this week. Hundreds of Harleys under the big tent tag with liquidation pricing. Save $2,000, $4,000, even $6,000 at Rockstar Harley's pre-owned red tag sale. Good credit, bad credit, no problem. Rockstar Harley is accepting 100% of all credit applications. Repo's trucked in, and the owner says 50 used bikes must go this week. Time to take it, Pete. Better bring your A-game, bud. You don't need perfect credit. Don't need a cash down payment. Rockstar Harley-Davidson is the #1 volume Harley-Davidson dealer group in the world. Pre-owned red tag sale ends this Sunday.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
America is rising anew. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. In his first address to Congress, President Biden says that we're getting past the coronavirus pandemic. Fox's Gernal Scott.
The fighting of the virus is one of the biggest ways the president says America has come together.
Our progress these past 100 days against one of the worst pandemics in history has been one of the greatest logistical achievements.
But Republican Tim Scott in his response said, "Don't thank this administration for the progress we've made. That began last year."
Congress supported our schools, our hospitals, saved our economy, and funded Operation Warp Speed, delivering vaccines in record time.
They agree there is more to do on COVID and other issues, but differ on how to get there.
The president in his speech argues his big spending proposals are investments we need to compete in the 21st century. He started by greeting Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris standing behind him on stage as Madam Speaker and Madam Vice President.
No president has ever said those words from this podium. No president has ever said those words, and it's about time.
He holds a rally in Atlanta this afternoon. Americans are advised they should not be in India because of the record-breaking surge in coronavirus cases there. The State Department has put out a level 4 travel advisory that's the highest of its kind. The Biden administration is sending $100 million worth of oxygen, protective masks, and rapid test kits to India and redirecting materials there already ordered to make coronavirus vaccine. 2 years into an investigation of his business dealings in Ukraine, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has his office and apartment raided by federal agents in Manhattan. His son Andrew Giuliani says the Justice Department is being politicized.
If this can happen to the former president's lawyer, this can happen to any American. Enough is enough.
He says the only one incriminated by the evidence is President Biden's son Hunter for his foreign business deals. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
A crash at the intersection of Daniels and Metro happened eastbound at this intersection on Daniels as you're heading east towards 6 Mile. So this is really causing a lot of a headache right now. If you're heading southbound on Metro, lots of traffic here as well, onlooking delays. Just avoid it. If you can, I would go ahead and stick to Plantation heading southbound. If you're heading east and west, you have Crystal as well as 6 Mile. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. You'll notice more humidity as you head out the door later on today, plus that temperature near 90, a sea breeze. All of that will allow for a few showers to develop, mainly along and east of the I-75 corridor. Time-wise, I think primarily after 3 o'clock and wrapping up by 8. Now, we do see more opportunities for rain on Friday, thunderstorms this weekend ahead of an approaching cold front. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
Hey, it's Jake DeMolino here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue, a lot of you know about. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission that was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO of Bonita Springs. 239-992-2626. 239-992-2626.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. Doing payroll is no longer a headache for our customer, Jeff.
I've used various payroll providers in the past, and none can hold a candle to Patriot Software. Their software is ridiculously easy to use. The support staff is knowledgeable and courteous. I am very excited that Patriot Software files my tax forms for me, not just providing the forms like other payroll companies do. As a business owner, managing payroll has been a long-time headache that I no longer struggle with thanks to Patriot Software. I definitely rate your company 5 out of 5 stars.
Go to PatriotSoftware.com to get your payroll pricing for up to 100 employees. Use promo code XM and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. If you want to watch, it's just, it's a basic mobile friendly. You can watch on your phone, you can watch on your smart device, you can watch on your computer, your smart computer, your dumb computer. I don't know what a dumb computer is. I guess a dumb computer is one that just doesn't turn on. But in that case, you wouldn't be able to watch it. It's okay. You see, the thing is that what I just said right there was probably less confusing to most than what they listened to last night with Joe Biden, President of the United States, addressing a joint session of Congress, who, by the way, looked awfully close and friendly. Even though they were wearing masks, they're all vaccinated. But I'm just trying to understand, can we vaccinate so that we can get closer? We can't get close indoors, we have to wear a mask and the whole thing. That's a whole other subject. I am so happy to have Liz Harrington, who's joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, our good friend who every once in a while gets an opportunity to fill in, and I'm always grateful for that. She's awesome. And she's one of those people where you say, I don't really want to watch Joe Biden and listen to this speech. Can Liz just do it and then just get back to me on everything that's crazy? Can you just do that? And so there she is. So kind of sort of like that.
Hey, good morning.
You don't, Liz. Be honest. You've got these people that you know that are like, Liz, do me a favor. Can you watch the whole thing and just kind of opine on all of this after the fact?
To be honest, Drew, I wasn't even going to watch it until John, your producer, texted me, hey, can you come and talk about this? I wasn't even know why. I was going to be like, the normal average American who clearly did not watch this thing. And if anyone did start watching this thing, they certainly didn't make it to the end. I was just so amused right off the gate that there was no one there. I mean, this was like worse than one of his rallies. Like, clearly, this guy didn't get 81 million votes up to see, the so-called president of the United States, except, the only person that greeted him in the aisle excitedly was Liz Cheney, which shows you how in touch she is. It's embarrassing. And like you mentioned with the masks, that was the one satisfying thing to see Nancy Pelosi have to actually sit there with the mask on the whole time.
You don't have to see it. A partial covering is good. Yeah. And
It's just bizarre. It was Twilight Zone, and it was so out of touch with the reality that was going on. He didn't even talk about the border. I mean,
how do you not?
Unbelievable. I mean, he's talking about things that are so detached. It's la fantasy land. He's talking about building windmills, windmill blades, when the country is on the verge of collapse. And it's just a sad moment for our country, and totally bizarre.
Yeah, a couple of things we'll dig into certainly, and get into how dangerous these policies are to the existence of the country, quite frankly. And I'm going to bring up another point that I brought up last hour, and I want you to comment on. A little provocative maybe, but I think gets to the point of how important elections are and leading into the future. But before we get into the meat, I do have to touch on this when it comes to the vid and vaccines and everything else. And listen, everybody has their view on it. If you get the vaccine, that's fantastic. If you're somebody that doesn't want to, okay, I mean, that is your choice. But at the end of the day, we hopefully know where everything stands. But that confusion still exists, right? And when we see that on the floor yesterday with those that are fully vaccinated but wearing a mask, but they're really close together, but they shouldn't be close together because they should be distancing. But no, they're masked, but they're vaxxed. So what are we worried about? It's still to this day. I mean, have you assessed everything that has to do with the CDC and the guidances and what is and isn't, and then the suggestion that we should all get out there and get vaccinated? But why? Because you haven't proven to us that doing it necessarily is going to be a benefit when it comes to our liberties and our freedoms that are very important that we should have. Do you know what I'm saying? What were your thoughts on it?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But, I mean, as we all know, Dr. Fauci's not very concerned with our liberties and freedom. He's only concerned with giving very confusing, unscientific advice. And that's what they're doing. I mean, what they're doing is basically signifying that they're in the cult and they're going to just virtue signal. And that's all that matters. And it is confusing to people, and it should make everyone question, well, they're never going to let us go back to normal because all these people are supposedly, they did what, the government told them to do, right? They're all vaccinated, and yet none of them can sit next to each other. Yeah. You can't shake hands. You have to do the fist bump. It is because they're never going to let us go back to normal. And if you think one shot's going to get us back to normal, that's something that Dr. Naomi Wolf said, who's really warning about the vaccine passports. I think that's the bigger issue, and I think that's what they're using for this. But apparently, this doesn't even keep you safe because you still have to, treat everyone like they're in a bubble.
Right.
I mean, we're sending the kids that are lucky enough, I guess, to go back to in-school classroom. I mean, they're wearing masks all day, which is totally disgusting.
Right.
They have plexiglass cubicles around them. And what are we doing as a country? That is my big problem here. And I don't believe a word they say.
Yeah.
They clearly don't believe a word they say. It's all about signaling to the dumb masses that, oh, you better be scared. You better line up for this. When they haven't proven anything that we're ever going to get our rights back unless we demand them.
Right. All right, Liz Harrington, let's dig in. All right, so let's play a couple of clips and we can comment on this. I thought this was an interesting one. I just want to make sure this is the right one. I hope it is. But I thought this was interesting. Listen to this.
When you hear someone say they don't want to raise taxes on wealth.
No, that's not it. That's not it. Where is it? Is this it? Hold on a second. I got to find the one that I'm looking for. Wait, stand by. Is this it?
Consensus.
No, that's not it either. All right. He did mention something about, and I wanted to play the actual clip. Maybe I'll just tell you what it is and you can comment on it. Is that, is this it?
Secretary Blinken can tell you.
No, that's not it. This is it.
In the last piece of legislation.
No, that's not it. Never mind. Okay. Boy, talk about prepared. The she comments. I've sat down with she. I've spent a lot of time with she. I spent a ton of time with she. I'm wondering if there were people in the background going, Ixnay on talking about she. Hold on, don't get too carried away with how long you've been spending time and talking to him, because there might be some that say, yeah, we know that. That's part of the issue that we've had in the past. He brings that up as if, that nothing ever happened there, and Hunter and the like. I don't know. What did you think about when you heard that?
It's totally typical for someone who is totally compromised by Xi. I mean, that's all he ended up talking about. I mean, some people were acting as if, he's taking a little bit of tougher line on China. How?
Right.
He didn't mention the virus. He didn't mention the genocide. He didn't mention that they have stolen all of our technology to use it against us. I mean, he didn't mention any real problem with China. I mean, he's talking about climate change. Speaking of Xi, he invited Xi to speak first at his awful virtual climate summit last week. I mean, the biggest polluter on planet Earth.
Right.
And this man is totally compromised by the Chinese Communist Party. And it's plain and simple, and it's an absolute disgrace. And he was up there saying exactly what his good old buddy Xi wants him to say. And it was all a fraud. It was all a show. It wasn't inspiring. And honestly, I'm just wondering, can they not even get a new speechwriter? It was the same stuff I've heard. But it was like his go-to awful stump speech.
Yeah.
The power of our example, not the example of our power. I mean, give me a break. It's uninspiring. I mean, just go back to it. Well, it's more than a year, because remember, this man, he had to rest up for 100 days before he could even do this address, just like he couldn't do a press conference because he's not actually running things. But go back to more than a year when President Trump did a State of the Union. I mean, there's no comparison, because they actually took the time, they actually loved the country, and they wanted to showcase regular average people and what this country means to them. There was none of that. It was the awful laundry list of a bunch of radical policies that are also just detached from the actual current State of the Union, which is an absolute distress.
Right. And, if you get into some of the meat of what is, quite honestly, as the Wall Street Journal editorial piece put, cradle-to-grave government, that's what we're talking about. I mean, it is that bad. It is something that he has talked about on numerous occasions, where it appears as if the things that he is doing and what he is highlighting, and the scary part of this is people thought that Joe Biden was this middle-of-the-road lunch bucket Joe doing his job in the Senate, working hard, and if he ever became president, hey, nothing to worry about. We're not going to fall off a cliff. And then we come to find out that that is not the case. And now we have other people that are in charge that are telling him the things that he should sign and say. And then he's pushing what seems to be his childhood, which is FDR on steroids, the largest tax increase since '68, a spending blowout unseen since the 60s, bias toward big labor unseen since the 1935 Wagner Act. I mean, you go back and back in time, and you say, he's looking at this, and this is who he's always been, and now he wants his legacy to be that on steroids. That is destructive to the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're collapsing the border. They're collapsing the U.S. dollar. I mean, this spending is insane, absolutely nuts. And none of these things you would do. I mean, if you were interested in coming out of a pandemic, which I guess is never ending, but in coming out of a pandemic, the first thing you wouldn't do after your country has been shut down is, make the economy a million times worse by raising taxes. You just wouldn't do that.
Right.
But this is the re-engineering. This is the fundamental transformation that Barack Obama promised.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's just being used for it. It's a total sham. of a presidency, but all these people behind the scenes that are making these decisions that don't even bother to write a new speech. That's what's driving this. It's radical, and they're hell-bent on radically changing this country. And we need to stand up to it. We need to focus on local government and state governments to push back. Because, I mean, we're talking... Last night, the show of a speech, they raided the rightful and former president's lawyer's home yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what a communist country does. And sadly, we are living in a situation like that because it's only going to get a million times worse. This federal government is so radicalized. They will persecute and go after their political opponents.
Yeah, well, let me ask you about that, Liz. You brought that up, and for those that don't know, in Rudy Giuliani's house raided, they come in, and interestingly enough, I'm hearing that from some, I guess, tweeting out that they didn't exactly take some of the incriminating evidence, which would have been against Hunter. They seem to have left some of that behind. But what did they take and what they're doing? And for many, it's pretty straightforward what's happening here. It's payback. It's payback time.
Yeah. Oh, it's intimidation. It's political persecution.
Yeah.
And exactly right. The only piece of damning evidence up there was the hard drive from hell. That's the only thing. I mean, there's some trumped up charge. They're using the FARA, the Foreign Agent Registers Act. I mean, which is such a sham. I mean, all these lobbyists, none of them follow it. They could get anybody, on that. But the thing is, Rudy Giuliani didn't even violate it. And they tried twice before to get a warrant in New York against Rudy, and they were denied twice before. And then what changed? Oh, there's a new regime in place, and they're using it politically against their political opponents. It's disgusting. We need to really band together and support freedom. Our freedoms are being attacked in this country. I mean, they're putting people who just went to see a speech of the President of the United States in Washington, D.C., they're putting people on the no-fly list. Right. I mean, this is so out of control, it's getting no attention. But this is the real abuse of power. And do you think they're stopping? No, they're going to come for every average American. They're going to come for our Second Amendment. They've already come for our First Amendment. I mean, I'm surprised I'm even still on Twitter. I'm surprised I haven't been banned yet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I actually say, Joe Biden didn't get 81 million votes, don't you know?
Yeah, and, to that point, please stop telling us that the administration and others have not weaponized portions of the government against American citizens. This is just another example of how it's happening. So please don't tell us it's not. Please don't tell us that there are certain things that are not taking place when we come to find out that there are examples time and time again that it has happened. But I want to make this point before we go, Liz, and it's this. Because I brought this up earlier, and I think this is an important point because there's something to be said, and it goes really to the core of what you talked about of local, and I mentioned this last break. So I don't think Democrats care about 2022. They don't care about losing because they've already won.
Right.
The time is now. And I'm banking on the fact that you're going to get a lukewarm reception. You'll get the push, but they don't care because the time is now. If they lose in 2022, it doesn't matter because they're going to push this radical agenda, and they know, like the repeal and replace of Obamacare, how'd that work out? That you don't have people who are there to do anything about repealing and replacing anything that's going on. I don't want to hear Mitch McConnell saying, boy, it doesn't look like he's talking unity. What are you talking about? That's not the battle. The messaging needs to be completely different, and it needs to be this. Elections have consequences. You can argue the point about election integrity. I still love talking about it because I got questions, and they still haven't been answered. Sorry, but they haven't. But there's this. At the end of the day, they do have control. They did win, quote unquote. It's now. It's not later. They don't care about losing in 2022, banking on the fact that they're going to get it done now. The tentacles are going to be dug in. And if you don't figure out how to create a farm team locally that's going to cultivate people that will ultimately go to their state and then to the federal level to do the things that we're talking about that need to be done to keep the republic, keep the Constitution alive, and keep the rule of law alive, then they have one.
Right. And that's exactly what people need to do. They can't be on the sidelines. They have to get involved. And I think we've seen that in Georgia. You're also seeing that in South Carolina, these local elections where, Trump supporters are getting involved and they're taking their agency back. That's what we need to do, because I think you're absolutely right. These people do not care about consent of the governed. They don't have it now. They're not going to have it in 2022. But this country won't make it to 2022 unless we really get a hold of our local level, stop the tyranny where we can, and assert our rights. Just assert our Constitution again.
Yep.
And that's the key. It's all right there where the founders have it. But, we need to take a page from the Great Awakening and the entire what led to the American Revolution, how this country was even founded. It's getting back to God. It's getting back to sanity. I mean, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We've lost wisdom in this country. Just look around at what's going on.
Yep.
That, I think, is the key. And we have to get involved locally because, you're absolutely right. They have control of the bureaucracy. They're not going to stop. That's all they really cared about anyway.
Right. Well, I think we could end it on that. Liz Harrington joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. And I have to apologize because I had no idea you had no plans on watching. And John Cassio, program director, decided to reach out to you and say, yeah, you're going to have to watch. What an awful human being he is. I'm just putting that out there. I said it.
No, it's actually better for me. It's good that I suffered through that,
Well, it's good for us, and it's good for me. So I'm glad you did, and thank you for doing it. Taking one for the team.
Thanks.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.
All right, see you. Bye-bye. All right, there she goes. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News. You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
I received a call the other day from a woman. Her husband tragically was unable to call himself, but he had told her, if anything ever happens to me, call Morgan & Morgan. And what higher honor could we receive than protecting someone's family after they're gone? Life can be shattered in a moment. When that happens, know that America's largest injury law firm is here for you. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When it comes to weather forecasting here in Southwest Florida, accuracy matters.
Meteorologist Matt Devitt told you when this storm would hit.
Reliability matters.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt is tracking this powerful storm.
Experience matters.
Just had a huge surge come in from the Atlantic.
Trust Matt Devitt.
Bring that umbrella. Look at all the rain.
Wink News Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt. Weeknights on Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Next, Rachel.
This is like show and tell.
An hour that's a real hoot.
I make some good pasta and chicken, but look at that. Ow, blankie!
Kicks off with the ultimate one-pot pasta supper.
There it is.
And an over-the-top burger topping from a top chef.
Oh my goodness, that is it.
Plus,
I think our new customers will love these bow ties.
These adorable CEOs will make you smile. Next, Rachel.
Rachel Ray, this morning at 11 on WXCW.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news. Prostagenics is the all-natural product that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. #1, because it works. So why not try some Prostagenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. To get your free bottle of Prostagenics, call now 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
Like the best superheroes, she's not one for the limelight. No, this superhero shines in shadow, playing the mild-mannered mom, playing down her daily miracles. You know her for the hero she is. And if this year's the year you thank her big, do it with a more thoughtful, more efficient, and organized home space with help from the master designers at Closet Factory. A space to create even better miracles and the perfect place to hang her cape at the end of the day. Find out how at closetfactory.com.
His first joint address telling Congress,
I come to talk about crisis and opportunity,
making the case that investments are needed to move ahead.
He's urging Congress to pass major spending proposals to provide universal pre-K and 2 years of tuition-free community college.
I will not impose any tax increase on people making less than $400,000.
President Biden also set a new deadline for police reform, telling Congress he wants to see a measure passed by the one-year anniversary of George Floyd's death next month.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Senator Tim Scott in the GOP rebuttal warning Biden's agenda is further dividing the country. And jobs numbers out this morning expected to show first-time unemployment claims for last week hitting a new pandemic low. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
The crash at Daniels and Metro is still blocking traffic. There's a tow truck on scene here as you're heading eastbound on Daniels towards 6 Mile. The best thing you can do is take 6 Mile or Crystal Drive to avoid this intersection. If you're north and south, stick to 41 because Metro and Plantation are backed up. If you're in Alva, a crash at Goggin Drive and Palm Beach Boulevard is delaying the intersection very slightly. It's not a major backup, but Lehigh Acres, the place to avoid is Lee Boulevard west towards Gunnery. It is slammed. 23rd or 82 better options. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. You'll notice more humidity as you head out the door later on today. Plus that temperature near 90, a sea breeze. All of that will allow for a few showers to develop, mainly along and east of the I-75 corridor. Time-wise, I think primarily after 3 o'clock and wrapping up by 8. Now, we do see more opportunities for rain on Friday, thunderstorms this weekend ahead of an approaching cold front. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steel, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on.
We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Gary, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Water is life in Southwest Florida. It drives our economy from tourism to fishing to boating and quality of life. This is Adam Botana from Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, and we talk water for an hour every weekend on Fox News Radio. We feature guests on water quality, water safety, and water fun, including great boating day trips and tips on fishing. Join us this Saturday at 7 a.m. for the Baywater Exclusive Boat Club Hour with Adam Botana on 92.5 Fox News.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases to increased orders to, I'm gonna say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward with fast, reliable internet on the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses and gives you the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business, starting at just $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and autopay required. Call for details.
The new administration has big plans for healthcare. Changes are coming that could limit your choice and make your health insurance premiums even higher. Tim Cooper at Health Plan Network recently saved a family of 4 in the Fort Myers area $600 per month. Act now. Protect yourself and your family with a superior health plan that cannot be canceled. This is a nationwide PPO plan, which allows you to pick your doctors and hospital. Start saving 30 to 60% now. If you are on Obamacare, not insured, or on COBRA, you can log into a private health plan managed by you, not the government. Call Tim Cooper, an expert with 24 years experience, at 239-368-6712. That's 239-368-6712. Online at healthplannetwork.net. That's healthplannetwork.net.
The real estate market is really hot right now, but for how long? I'm Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. You've heard Drew Steele talk about me on his show. If you're thinking about selling your home for a premium price, now is the time. You can sell over market value without doing repairs, letting strangers in your home, and you pick the closing date. Learn how for free. No pressure, no obligation. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. GomesMovesHomes.com.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. The talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. I'm just laughing because somebody sent something to me, and we're going to get to Spencer Roach in just a second. Representative Spencer Roach here. and talk about this bill. This bill has been authored by him about protecting free speech on college campuses and the kind of pushback that he's getting on this, and it's making national headlines, as you can imagine when you find out about it. So we'll get to that in just a second. But here you go, Jake. Somebody just sent this to me and said, if you're trying to make sense of the Biden speech from last night and you just want to encapsulate it in 30 seconds and understand who Joe Biden is, what you probably would have heard, and how in some ways there's a little bit of nonsensical that comes out of Joe Biden. Here you go. Ready? 30 seconds. Here you go.
The President of the United States.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, after just 100 days, I can report to the nation, and some of you know more about this than I do. I know of nothing. It's frightening. Most importantly, thanks to the American Rescue Plan, we're on track to cut First Lady in half. We're the United States of America. Thank you for your patience.
All right. Cenk is like, I could have done without that. But I understand that. But at the same time, all right, we're just trying to have a little bit of fun. We'll get in. What? You didn't like that? I thought you would like that.
No, it was good. I'm just I'm like smacking I just can't stand the guy's voice at this point. It's like nails on a chalkboard times 30.
Sorry. Can't help it. He's the president. When he says,
you know, like whenever you don't replace the battery in your fire alarm.
Yeah.
It's actually put at a decibel. It's put at a decibel to get your attention. It's worse than that, like on repeat.
Wow.
Times 10.
That's an interesting analogy. I never thought of it that way. Thanks.
Beep.
Yeah, I wish a fire alarm that needed a battery in my house went beep. I wish that's all it did. All right. 239-479-5592. Representative Spencer Roach has been hanging on the phone this whole time, and he's like, when are you going to get to me? Can we stop about the fire alarm thing and get to me? Hi, how are you?
Drew, listen, I'm good, and I have to say I agree with Jake.
Oh gosh,
I can't stand the guy's voice, and I agree that he knows nothing, but I'm not sure about cutting the first lady in half.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I don't know. That was pretty. That kind of was dumb. I'm not gonna, but I didn't do it. It's not me, so I'm not. It's whatever. Exactly. That was just weird. But anyway, I guess it was. And please don't encourage Jake to anyway. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, let's do this. All right. You've been making headlines across the country with something that we talked a little bit about the other day. I'm so glad you're coming on to kind of explain to everybody here in Southwest Florida the details. So tell me about this bill, this allowing students to record professors' lectures. And people are like, oh, I got a lot of questions about this. Well, here, first of all, explain. What is this about?
Yeah, Drew, thanks for having me on. Look, I'm getting, attacked on all sides here by the woke left, and I want your listeners to know that I am not backing down. I'm not backing off this. And I think so many of our problems can be traced to our education system, both in elementary school, high schools, and in colleges. And the bill that I filed is designed to promote intellectual freedom and viewpoint diversity on college campuses in Florida. And there really are three parts to the bill, but one of the parts that seems to be generating the most discussion is the part of the bill that makes it explicit in Florida law that students have a right to record their professors in classrooms. And for a couple of reasons, we want.
Oh, did we lose him?
To be able to use them or doing something that exposes their biases or they're indoctrinating students.
Okay, wait a second. We lost you for a second there, Spencer. Sorry about that. So you got to the recording part and then your voice dropped. So let's try that again. So the issue has been the recording part. And go ahead, pick up from there.
Yeah, so the law makes it explicitly clear that in Florida, college students have the right to record their professors in the classrooms. And the reason for that is, one, we want them to be able to use this for educational purposes. But two, we want to keep these folks honest. And if these professors are saying something or doing something that either exposes a bias or they're indoctrinating their students, people need to know about that. And that's what the intent of the bill is. And these professors are coming back and they're trying to make the argument that they have some kind of proprietary interest in their lectures. And my response to that is, look, these professors are public employees. They're state employees. And when you look at state employees across the state, from state attorneys in the courtrooms, police officers with body cams, or lawmakers in the Capitol, we are all recorded, and we don't have a proprietary interest in our work product. And I don't know why these professors should be exempt.
Right. So then the second question I'm sure has been asked is, I didn't know we could do this. I thought you had to have consent of the other party to be able to do that. So that's been part of it. Can you explain about that?
Yeah, Florida is one of 38 states that follows what they call the one-party consent doctrine under federal law, where you have to have the consent of the other party to record. And that's fine. But this law specifically would put in a carve-out that would allow students on college campuses to record their professors in a classroom during a class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of the things that I've been hearing a lot about is that in this argument is pushing back. That's part of where the passion is for many people, which is that for too often times we are told there are things that we can't do, that we can't touch, that we can't go near, that we're not allowed to do. We're overstepping our bounds. And then you come to find out that the reason why that is being said is not because of any legal recourse or anything like that, but it's because they're trying to protect something that they're doing that they don't want others to find out about. And so this has become something where when people hear this, they're like, good, because that political bias has to be called out. It has to be discovered. We have to be able to show it. Too many times we're talking about it, and it feels like people are saying it, and there's no evidence to the fact. And somehow we have to fight back, push back on this, and reinforce it. Is that what you're hearing as well?
Well, Drew, the narrative for so long is that as conservatives, we're supposed to sit back and just take it and just accept it. And we're not taking it anymore. We're going to fight back. And I think that even when you look at elementary schools, one thing that COVID did for us, when parents were able to look in on these Zoom classes and see what their students were learning, a lot of them got much more engaged in the curriculum and started pushing back. And we see that even here in Lee County with the pushback on our own school board. And look, we're not taking it anymore. Parents have a right to know what's happening in the classroom, and students have a right on college campuses to record their professors and expose what's happening there. And again, they're paying for this education, so they should be able to record that and keep these folks honest. We're not taking it anymore. We're going to push back. We're going to fight back.
Yeah. So, and how is it going? Like, what can we expect? How do you think this is going to end up? What's the word?
Well, the bill has passed off the House floor and off the Senate floor, thanks to Senator Ray Rodriguez, our own senator there in Lee County, and now it's headed to the governor's desk. And look, the governor is someone who understands cancel culture, and when you look at that hacked up 60-minute interview they did on the governor last month, the governor understands this, and I fully expect the governor to sign the bill into law.
Yeah. All right. This is definitely something that gets people fired up. They love the fact that they have representatives that are pushing back and are willing to do it and articulate the position and be able to say, look, enough is enough in a lot of different ways. And I'm sure, by the way, you did mention it, and maybe before we go, you can comment on it as well, is you've been keeping an eye on what's happening here in Lee County with the school board and keeping an eye on that. And I know that does have to do a lot with what you're doing here, which is pushing back. Do you have any comments on that? And even from the state level, what's going on as well?
Yeah, so at the state level, we've done a couple things to try and help. We've expanded school choice to allow every parent the option to take their kid out of a public school like this. And we also passed a bill requiring term limits for school board members. But, I've been keeping tabs on this. I've been watching it very closely. I've been very vocal about it. I think that when you look at the 7-member school board in Lee County, they all have to go. This is unacceptable. It's inexcusable. And these bureaucrats have forgotten that they work for the parents. They work for you. And they seem to think they work for the teachers union. And that's just unacceptable to me.
Yeah. All right. State Representative Spencer Roach joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right, my friend. We will speak soon. Thanks for a few minutes. I know you're busy, but I appreciate it.
Thank you, Drew. Today's day 59 of our 60-day session. Coming home tomorrow, God willing. I can't wait to get back to Southwest Florida. Thank you.
All right, great. We'll see you then. Okay.
Bye.
Take care. 239-479-5592. Look, this is something that is the beginning of where we are now. And I do feel like there is this this shift. That there have too many times in the past, there have been people that would look at somebody like a Mitch McConnell or look somebody at a state level and say, and see them. And Mitch McConnell says things like, the Biden always talks unity and we're not really doing it. Boy, this is a disaster of a policy. And people would be like, yeah, you go get him, Mitch, and you go get him there, state rep, whoever the person is or what. But realizing that at the end of the day, there's really no teeth in anything that they're saying. It's almost as if they just want you to vote them back into office because they like their cushy position. But they're not willing to do any of the hard work, the heavy lifting, the things that we voted them into office to do. And I feel there's a huge shift, especially here in Southwest Florida. And man, it feels good. And I know, I'm getting this text. Yeah, it's like the Twisted Sister song, we're not gonna take it. You know that song, Jake? Do you know who Twisted Sister is?
Yeah, it was on Grand Theft Auto, I think.
It was who? What did you say? I don't know. You mumbled something at the end there.
Yeah, it was on Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, you were mumbling it because you didn't want me to know that the only way that you would know about a song
Reference
from
is
the
pretty much a video
is
game
a
or a
video
movie.
game reference, something that I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
or a cartoon.
Or what cartoon had "We're not going to take it" from Twisted Sister?
Good point.
Yeah, that is. Anyway, that you're not going to take it. And how important it is for you to realize that after a 2020 election integrity, still lots of questions, people in the country that want to push back and want answers on audits and a lot of other things, and that's a good thing. People are not going away because they're concerned that after licking your wounds and understanding what happened and then standing up now today, at this moment in time, understanding that you have power that you may not have realized you had in the past. En masse, voting when it comes to school boards, voting when it comes to county commissioners, voting when it comes to city council, voting when it comes to anything that's going on in Southwest Florida. That if you're like on a national level, you feel like things aren't happening the way you would like to see it, or you're concerned about it, at a local level, you have it. You've got the juice. You've got it. And talk about change. And talk about your voice being heard and being like, yep, just like Spencer was talking about, cleaning house. The only way that happens is with you. And you've been showing that lately. And you have it. And this is the time where the tide turns. Sorry. I mean, for the left. Sorry for those that thought they were getting away with something for the longest time. Yep, it's over. Those days are over. You're back. All right, 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. You should call right now because if you're caller number 9 at this moment to which I speak to you, right now, caller number 9, you will get to play Drew's College, which is exciting enough. But add on top of that, a $50 gift card to Mel's Diner. I have it. It'll be yours. Just for playing, you'll get the $50 gift card right now at 239-479-5592, and you'll play Drew's College. And we have that coming up next on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here is Sabrina Katz.
Unfortunately, the crash at the intersection of Daniels and Metro has not cleared yet. This is as you're heading northbound on Metro from Daniels. So what you want to do to navigate around this is stick to Plantation if you're heading north. If you're heading south, Plantation is also a good option. A lot of onlooking slow traffic on Metro, as well as Daniels is just packed heading west of 6 Mile. So westbound commuters, you have Crystal or 6 Mile to navigate around Daniels. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. If I can wrap up your forecast in a few words, it's hot, humid, chance of rain. We have a few showers developing after about 3 o'clock, primarily along and east of I-75. More shower activity expected by Friday and as we head toward the weekend. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and want out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach with a Week 7 update. As Lee County residents fight the radical gender policies in our schools, the Florida House voted to expand school choice to place control of education where it's always belonged, with parents, not with government bureaucrats. We also passed a resolution to allow an up or down vote on term limits for school board members. We passed a bill to ban abortions based on genetic engineering. I believe that every life has dignity, and I'm unapologetically pro-life. During COVID, governments relaxed regulations on businesses, and it prompted me to question the need for so many regulations in the first place. That's why I co-sponsored a bill to protect home-based businesses from the tyranny of over-regulation by local governments. We should use the power of the law to encourage home-based startups, not punish them. This is State Representative Spencer Roach. We only have 1 week to go, so stay tuned, stay engaged, and thank you again for listening. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, P.O. Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida 33918.
At FPL, we're always looking the future straight in the eye. When the future said cut back on foreign oil, we made way for clean, American-made natural gas. And when the future said we need more clean energy, we said, how about 30 million solar panels by 2030? And when it said we need zero carbon emissions, we said, okay, how about green hydrogen? That's energy made from water. We're planning, preparing, and investing because Florida deserves an energy future we can depend on. See how at fpl.com/value.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Bart. Bart's in Bonita. Hello, Bart.
Hey, Drew. How you doing, Drew?
Hey, I'm doing. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We're going to see if you earn a PhD. Your associate's degree question starts right now. Hey, Bart, do you remember Ronald Reagan was president of the United States? You remember Ronald Reagan?
Yes.
Who was the president before him?
Jimmy Carter.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got associates. We'll see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. We vote for U.S. senators, and then they serve how long? How long does a U.S. senator serve? And then the elections?
6 years.
That is correct, sir. All right, so you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this question. What territory did the U.S. buy from France in 1803?
Louisiana?
That is correct, sir. The Louisiana Territory.
Yeah.
Good for you. That was a great guess. Okay, and you got a master's. Let's see if you get a PhD on this one. Listen carefully. Hillary Clinton served the country in what capacity from 2009 to 2013?
Secretary of State.
That is correct, sir. Look at you. All noisy there in your vehicle. That's all right. Well, congratulations there, Bart. You got a PhD today on Drew's College and a $50 gift card to Mel's Diner. How about that? 5 fantastic locations around Southwest Florida. It's good stuff, right?
That's awesome. I love Mel's.
And I'm sure they love you back. Hey, where are you going right now, by the way, Bart?
I'm heading back to my house.
All right. Well, that's a good thing. It's a good place to be. All right, don't go anywhere, Bart. You got to stay there, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, we'll talk more about the president's speech yesterday, and we'll kind of dig into what he said in detail coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
I'm about to say a dirty word. A really dirty word. Cover your kids' ears. Ready? Plumber. Hi, I'm Rob Hill of Bob Hill Plumbing. I'm not sure why plumber is a dirty word. I like to think of myself as a respectful, clean, and honest plumber. In fact, I'm proud to say that Bob Hill Plumbing is one of the oldest businesses in Naples. My dad founded Bob Hill Plumbing in 1952. I instill the same tradition and values as he had back in the 50s. I dare you to find that in the chuck in a truck world. Everyone has an AC guy and an electrical guy, but a plumber? If you need plumbing services, I invite you to call me today, and I'll prove to you that we've cleaned up the word plumber. See, even the radio guy stopped beeping me out. Bob Hill Plumbing. Let me be your plumbing guy.
To schedule service, call Bob Hill Plumbing at 262-6119 or go to bobhillplumbing.com.
Tee up and swing into summer at Coral Oaks Golf Course in Cape Coral. Experience excellent playing conditions, GPS golf carts, and low summer rates. Play 18 holes with cart for just $35 before noon, $30 after noon, or play any day after 2 p.m. for only $25 all summer long. Book tee times up to 7 days in advance at coraloaksgolf.com. We'll see you at Coral Oaks, where every day is a great day.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
It's President Biden's 100th day in office. I'm Chris Foster of Fox News. He'll spend part of it at a rally following up on his address at the Capitol last night. Fox's Jared Halpern.
President Biden travels to Georgia on his 100th day in office and one day after delivering his first speech to a joint session of Congress.
Thank you all, Madam Speaker. Madam Vice President.
President Biden noted that history-making introduction before making a pitch for ambitious investments in clean energy, universal pre-K, and community college.
For too long, we've failed to use the most important word when it comes to meeting the climate crisis: jobs.
The president proposes tax increases on wealthy Americans and corporations, provisions unlikely to win much Republican support in a deeply divided Congress with the slimmest of majorities for Democrats.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, the only black Republican in the Senate, delivered his party's official response, saying America is not a racist country, but
I get called Uncle Tom and the N-word by progressives, by liberals.
Former President Trump on what he didn't hear in the speech.
He didn't discuss the border and the fact that tens of thousands of people are pouring into our country, many of them criminals, many of them people from jails, many of them doing acts that you don't even want to know about, and they're pouring into our country by the thousands at a level that's never been seen before.
He was on Mornings with Maria on Fox Business. No comment from the FBI or federal prosecutors about the raids yesterday at former New York City Mayor and Trump advisor Rudy Giuliani's home and office in Manhattan. His attorney tells Fox it was totally unnecessary and done to make him look like he's some sort of criminal. Giuliani's under federal investigation for dealings with Ukrainian officials and whether he broke the law by lobbying the Trump administration on their behalf. America's listening to Fox News.
WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Wink News traffic.
Unfortunately, the crash at the intersection of Daniels and Metro has not cleared yet. This is as you're heading northbound on Metro from Daniels. So what you want to do to navigate around this is stick to Plantation if you're heading north. If you're heading south, Plantation is also a good option. A lot of onlooking slow traffic on Metro, as well as Daniels is just packed heading west of 6 Mile. So westbound commuters, you have Crystal or 6 Mile to navigate around Daniels. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. You'll notice more humidity as you head out the door later on today, plus that temperature near 90, a sea breeze. All of that will allow for a few showers to develop, mainly along and east of the I-75 corridor. Time-wise, I think primarily after 3 o'clock and wrapping up by 8. Now, we do see more opportunities for rain on Friday, thunderstorms this weekend ahead of an approaching cold front. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
You don't have to feel distant.
Now to the times when you can agree to disagree and help your neighbors.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest-growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's pest prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Naples.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Water is life in Southwest Florida. It drives our economy from tourism to fishing to boating and quality of life. This is Adam Botana from Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, and we talk water for an hour every weekend on Fox News Radio. We feature guests on water quality, water safety, and water fun, including great boating day trips and tips on fishing. Join us this Saturday at 7 a.m. for the Baywater Exclusive Boat Club Hour with Adam Botana on 92.5 Fox News.
Spring sales drive, Marty.
You moving them doggies out, Marty, man?
Yeah, sure, everything goes.
Oh,
Yep.
So you're marking them up to sit on the lot another year.
No.
Marty, you know you can't beat Victory Lane Chevy's huge roundup of new 2021 Chevy Equinox LTs with up to 20% off MSRP.
Who says?
Or choose new 2021 Chevy Traverse LT, up to 15% off MSRP. Marty, you ever see those Western movies with the gigantic cattle drives?
Yes, I have. I've seen that.
Well, this isn't one of them, but it's close. The savings are blooming at Victory Lane Chevrolet's Spring Sales Drive. Find new roads and save up to 20% off MSRP on new 2021 Chevy Equinox or new Chevy Traverse with up to 15% off MSRP. All with our goal of 100% credit approval. It's sales drive time, buckaroos, at Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com.
Taxes and fees extra. All rebates to dealer. Offers with approved credit and do not combine. Expires 4/30/2021.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad that you are joining us today. Thank you for making this program the start of your day. We always appreciate that. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. Here I am. You're looking at me. Jake's over there, but I don't have a camera on him right now, so sorry about that. Drew Steele. Steele has 3 E's, so go to the website. It's just a simple website, great for your phone, for your smart device. It works. And at Drew Steele Radio on Facebook if you want to watch there. That's fine. All right, I might say a thing or two that will be a little bit provocative and like to get your thoughts on it coming up in just a second, because I do have some thoughts on the Cradle-to-Grave policies that Joe Biden is pushing right now, how scary that is, but ultimately how there are many people that probably don't even realize that they're buying into this, buying into the Cradle-to-Grave government that we all talk about as being a bad thing. This is not good, but yet there are people who unknowingly are agreeing with it when there are hard decisions that have to be made in order for it to stop. It's just a fact. We all are, in some ways, are guilty of it, but when you recognize it, then you have to decide whether you want to make those hard decisions. That's what we're going to talk about in just a second. I'll get to it, I promise. Also, we'll talk a little bit about the things that Joe Biden said and some other progressives that really spelled out exactly what you need to know. That this is the destroying of the constitutional republic as we know it. It's not hyperbolic, and I know there are people saying, oh, what are you telling? There's nothing new that we haven't heard before from others. But I just want to make sure that it's articulated to you by a progressive, what they're doing, how they're demonstrating it, and how you need to tell everybody you know that the future is important for you to be a part of when it comes to the political process. All right. And I saw this story that popped up, and maybe tomorrow I'll get into this in more detail. 1 billion Franken-skeetos are getting set to be released in the Florida Keys. Did you hear about this? Jake is shaking his head. What do you think about it? By the way, anything that I'm talking about, 239-479-5592. If you saw the Biden speech, what did you think about it? About some of the policies, and maybe some of what I'm about to say that may be a little provocative. We'll get to that. Or even Franken-skeetos. I guess some angry people in the Keys because a British biotech company developed a Franken-skeeto, partnered with the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District. They're going to release the first ever genetically engineered specific type of mosquito. I can't pronounce that, and I'm big enough to admit it. So they're doing that this week. They want to decrease the total population of this type of mosquito. It's one that carries one of several mosquito species. So it's not just the only one. It's just one of many that carries all kinds of crazy diseases. They can't do anything about the diseases, so we'll do it about the mosquito and what's carrying it. And I don't know, does that freak you out a little bit that we're and not that we haven't done it before. I've talked about it before, but they're getting ready to do this once again. And every time this happens, people are like, oh boy, we're in trouble. We're genetically modifying the mosquitoes. And next thing you know it, I'm going to get bit. And then all of a sudden, all these appendages are going to start, it's, but it's serious. Yeah. No, I know. All right. So I'll talk about that more in detail another day because I want to get to Joe Biden. Now, look, it would be very easy to have some fun with Joe Biden and do our typical morning cup of Joe where we play the audio, the music, and then we play some clip of Joe Biden, Joe being Joe, where he says something ridiculous. I mean, this would be easy.
Sit back with your morning cup of Joe.
Not a joke. America's moving forward, but we can't stop now. We're in competition with China and other countries to win the 21st century. We're at a great inflection point in history. We have to do more than just build back better. We have to build back better.
I like easy. Yeah, there's Joe Biden from last night who's saying, what is he saying?
We have to do more than just build back better. We have to build back better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe he forgot the R's. Like he meant to say betterer. He just didn't read the teleprompter right. So we got to build back better. We got to build back better. That's easy, but enough of the gaffes. We just have to get to the meat of some of the things that he did say. Let me just make mention of a couple of things. Number one, there's this little nugget.
The consensus is if we act to save the planet, we can create millions of jobs and economic growth and opportunity to raise the standard of living amongst everyone around the world.
Yeah, that's not your job. The job of the government is not to create jobs. And how exactly does the government create jobs? It doesn't create jobs, but we're told that it does. And listen, when it comes to climate change, it's about jobs. And so who are you appealing to? So you're appealing to the left that's going to go to people like us and say, dude, get with it with the whole climate change thing. It's going to create jobs, and that's what you always talk about. Yeah, that's not your gig, and that doesn't happen. The government doesn't create jobs, so stop that. But he keeps doing it because there are people that will listen to that and agree. There was this little nugget that I thought was interesting. Listen to this.
When you hear someone say they don't want to raise taxes on the wealthiest 1% or corporate America, ask them, whose taxes you want to raise? Instead, who's they going to cut?
Yeah, he's saying, you keep saying, whose taxes you're going to cut. Well, whose taxes are you going to raise? And okay. Yeah. No, I care about the spending. Cut the spending. It's nice that we're talking about who are you going to cut? You're talking about cutting taxes. Well, you got to raise somebody's taxes. And no, you don't have to if you don't do the kind of spending that you're doing. I mean, what was the number? It was the Wall Street Journal that called Joe Biden the $6 trillion man. Do you realize in 100 days he's proposed $6 trillion of spending? But nobody cares because trillions don't even register in your brain. And they know it because they do it under the guise of this is great. It's childcare and pre-K and what are the numbers again? What were they? The Cradle-to-Grave government that the Wall Street Journal talked about. The price tag is breathtaking. Another $2 trillion on top of everything else. It's $6 trillion of new spending in 100 days, and that doesn't include the regular federal budget of more than $4 trillion a year. But no problem. There's all kinds of ways. The Federal Reserve will monetize the debt, so don't even sweat it. The costs are staggering. We've tried this before. What is Head Start if not government preschool education and childcare? Weren't school lunches and the women, infants, and children programs supposed to prevent child hunger? Food stamps, welfare checks, childcare subsidies, and a supplement to earned income plus public housing. Weren't all of these programs and more from previous decades supposed to end poverty? Why did the trillions of dollars spent on those fail? And if they didn't work, why do we need to do more? That's a great point from the Wall Street Journal opinion piece. What are we doing here? What's going on? You keep throwing money at it, and you're saying that it's the money that we need? Really? We've been throwing trillions at this. But there's a part of this that's so important. It's critical. And you talk about the money that's going to pre-K. We're talking about spending money for childcare from birth to 5 years old, right? Pre-K, which people what is pre-K? Pre-K is kindergarten isn't really school. Pre-K is really not school at all. It's like daycare, right? And so we're talking about from birth till you're 5, the government is subsidizing, you're having the cradle there. And then afterwards, you're talking about spending money on college tuition. What is it in this? It's community colleges being paid for. Again, and here's where people may say this is a provocative statement, and this is where I want you to call in. Because I'm going to make this point, and as I'm talking to friends and people that are a lot smarter than I am, and I wonder about this. We're making a conscious choice. Universal preschool, free education. We look at this and we know what the government is doing. The government is going to have control of your child. And if the government has control of your child, then the government has control of their mind, and the government has control of the things that we are concerned about, and you know what that means, and you know where that leads, and your child is not your own. Your child is not the government's. The child is yours. It is your child. But how many times do we make these choices consciously? Because somebody were to say to you, look, you want to work. You want to go out there and be part of the business world. You want to get out there and make a living and work hard. But you've got kids, and now you've got to get them into childcare. And you know how expensive that is. Well, the government's going to come along and take care of that. It's free childcare. It's the ability to drop your child off to the government so that you could go out and do what you've always wanted to do, and that is to go to work, to make a living, to be part of a business, to grow a business, to do all of these things, right? And isn't that what you want? The government is telling you that they're giving you the opportunity to chase that dream. I mean, you're a conservative. You love the idea of opening up and starting a business and working hard and making a living. And now we're giving you the opportunity to give us your child, and we'll take care of them while you do that. And people go, yeah, I need that. Because you know how much it costs? I mean, I need somebody to do this, and the government's going to, great, it's free, sign me up. So are we giving them what they want? I mean, we should make a choice, right? If that's what you want to do and who you want to be, what's more important? is the job and the income more important than understanding that the raising of that child outside of the government's hands is even more important? And that's a tough thing to say, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do that right now because I've got a child that I need to raise, that I need to get out of the hands of the government. And the government is saying to you, no, leave the child with us. Get out there and work so that you can make more money for us to take, to give it back, to provide all of these things that makes you beholden to us and allows us to raise your child. That is a very vicious cycle, but it's also a tough choice, is it not? To say, I can't do it. Just can't do it. And you really think that this is the beginning? I mean, this is all it's going to be? Like it's not going to expand? When does the government do that? When does the government say, listen, we just need the tax for right now. Listen, the child tax credit, we just need it for right now because it's a pandemic. That's all it is. All of these things are temporary. They're never going to be expanded until you find out that the president wants to make a lot of these things permanent. Until you find out that Obamacare isn't going to be repealed and replaced. It's not going away, as a matter of fact. You could fill in the blank. But listen, there are progressives that are out there that have spelled it out already. And here you go. It's Representative Jayapal, who is one of the big progressives in the House, who's doing an interview the other day. And I want you to listen to her words because this is all you need to know. It spells out everything specifically as to what progressives want to do. Joe Biden is their dupe, is the person that will fulfill all of their progressive dreams, just checking everything off. But I want you to listen to this interview. It's a minute long, but I'm going to kind of break it down into parts so you can hear what she says because it's very telling. So listen to this from this big progressive in the House. Listen.
Well, I think, first of all, the president is going to put forward a bold plan that is filled with progressive priorities. We know that already. And
right. So she already knows it's progressive priorities.
We're grateful to him because there's nothing like the president's microphone in this context. And so, I don't think it's a question of what's the percentage at which we're happy. I think the question is the urgency of the moment and what needs to be done. Even
if it's part of it. The percentage was asked on MSNBC by Chuck Todd. How much of this $1.8 trillion would you be happy with 60% of it? You see, they shoot high, and then if they get a little piece of it, that's okay. Because in a crisis, when it's emergency, you got to get things done. So that's the first thing. It's the never let the crisis go to waste, right? The comments.
I think the question is the urgency of the moment and what needs to be done.
The urgency of the moment, the crisis you can't let go to waste, and the urgency of the moment, which is 2022 is around the corner and things will change then, but we have the power now, so it has to get done. That's the first part. Listen to the second part.
And we really believe the president when he says this is a once-in-a-generation investment into things that we desperately need to do, Chuck, in the face of all these crises that we've had.
There it is, the crisis once again, that you have to do this during a crisis, and it's a once-in-a-generation move, something that Joe Biden's looking at, and it's something that he wants to do, that he wants to make it look like FDR on steroids, that his legacy is going to be fundamentally transforming the country. That's part two. Here's part three.
So for us, the question is, what can really deliver on the president's vision, deliver the real results that we need to get? And that's why we're saying, there are some areas where we will need to do more.
We'll need to do more. You think it's going to go away? You think just $1.8 trillion is enough? No, because once it passes, now they can start to have this behemoth grow. You think it's just going to be about low-income earners when it comes to certain aspects of pre-K or childcare or anything? It'll stretch to the middle class, and soon the promises will be made to everybody, and it just grows and expands. Once they get the tentacles in, it just gets bigger. It doesn't go away. It's the opposite.
In general, I think we are going to say we agree with everything that is in the president's plan, but we need more. And there's a couple of areas where we really think been excluded and they need to be included.
So they're not done. $6 trillion in 100 days. $6 trillion in 100 days. And the president was making it sound like, listen, it's free education, universal pre-care. Isn't this great? Family leave, all of these things. All the things that we've spent trillions of dollars on in programs that already exist. And no, now we're going to do it the right way. And again, understanding that as this happens, it's making you available to continue to work, to be able to make money that is going to be taken in larger and larger chunks by the government that's only going to, in turn, keep you enslaved to that whole idea so that they can take on, for example, in this case, your children and be able to, well, to do what? Government run. Like, you really want to hand off your kids to the government? Do you really want to do that? 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com. As many people know, at 8:05 each and every day, Byron Donalds joins us. Congressman Donalds, a little late today. He's got a busy schedule, as you can imagine. And I believe at 8:40 he'll be coming up. So right after the top 5 audio clips of the day, the 5 at 8:35, he'll be up right after that. So it's coming up next on Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
When was the last time you checked in on your insurance? Give CIG a chance to review your current coverage and find you better rates. Hi, this is Brian Chapman at Chapman Insurance Group. My team and I are dedicated to finding you the best suited coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Qualified agents are standing by. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
Brad McDaniel here, the second generation of Kenmark Air. Kenmark Air is celebrating 25 years of professional, honest, and top-rated service in Southwest Florida. To celebrate, Kenmark Air has its own branded air conditioning system, the K. McDaniel Series, named after our father, Ken McDaniel. The K. McDaniel Series is a completely coated outside system with storm protection, and for a limited time, we're offering 25% off qualifying high-efficient K. McDaniel systems. Call today for a free in-home estimate, 239-437-7040, and online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
When it comes to weather forecasting here in Southwest Florida, accuracy matters.
Meteorologist Matt Devitt told you when this storm would hit.
Reliability matters.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt is tracking this powerful storm.
Experience matters.
Just had a huge surge come in from the Atlantic.
Trust Matt Devitt.
Bring that umbrella. Look at all the rain.
Wink News Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt. Weeknights on Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Next, Rachel.
This is like show and tell.
An hour that's a real hoot.
I make some good pasta and chicken, but look at that. Ow, blankie!
Kicks off with the ultimate one-pot pasta supper.
There it is.
And an over-the-top burger topping from a top chef.
Oh my goodness, that is it.
Plus,
I think our new customers will love these bow ties.
These adorable CEOs will make you smile. Next, Rachel.
Rachel Ray, this morning at 11 on WXCW.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
Hi, doctor.
So how are you feeling?
With Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, be seen by your Millennium healthcare provider in the comfort of your home from your computer, smartphone, or tablet.
So good to see you.
Call your Millennium Doctor's Office or 844-CALL-MPG to request a virtual visit with the care team who knows you best.
I'll talk to you soon.
Millennium's telehealth service, MPG Connect. Your doctor, your device, your connection to a healthier life.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms, I wonder why they ever call the other firm. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list, and in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. You know the real estate market's really hot right now, but for how long? Well, nobody really knows. I mean, if people don't catch up on their mortgage payments because of COVID, the market's going to get flooded with foreclosure inventory, and that's scary because your home's value could plummet. So if you thought about selling your home for a premium price, now's the time to do it. But you don't want to make any costly mistakes. That's why you need to get with Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. See, he's been buying, selling, brokering, and investing in real estate for over 20 years. Mistakes in real estate can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Anthony wrote a book on how to sell homes, your home, and for the most money. And he wants to ship it to you for free. Just go to GomesMovesHomes.com and tell him where you want to send it. Inside, you'll gain 20 years of secrets from wealthy home sellers on how you can sell for a premium price without doing repairs, letting strangers go through your home, and you could pick the closing date. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. Again, GomesMovesHomes.com.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News traffic.
In Fort Myers, 2 places to avoid. There's a crash at Daniels and Metro that's delaying traffic on Metro southbound for about 1.5 miles trying to get to Daniels. Same deal on Plantation. Just a mess right now if you're heading southbound. There's no crash on Plantation and Daniels, but a lot of traffic heading this way. Stick to 41. That's going to be your smoothest option, or even 6 Mile to avoid the headache. Westbound commuters on Daniels, if you usually take the route towards 41, I would stick to Crystal or 6 Mile. There's a crash at Bayshore Road and Old Bayshore Road in North Fort Myers, delaying traffic eastbound for 1 mile towards 31. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. You'll notice more humidity as you head out the door later on today, plus that temperature near 90, a sea breeze. All of that will allow for a few showers to develop, mainly along and east of the I-75 corridor. Time-wise, I think primarily after 3 o'clock and wrapping up by 8. Now, we do see more opportunities for rain on Friday, thunderstorms this weekend ahead of an approaching cold front. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Southwest Florida's place to talk about
coronavirus. It's on the police.
Everything.
Give me liberty or give me COVID-19.
92.5 Fox News.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our our great customers. Show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Stevie Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
People say they don't like going to the dentist, but what they mean is they don't like the discomfort. Dr. Alan Rembos at smilesbyrembos.com understands. Dr. Rembos uses computerized anesthetic delivery, resulting in 50% fewer injections. And Dr. Rembos places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at smilesbyrembos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
This is Greg, owner of Tropical Generator. And when I started my generator business 17 years ago, I made it a priority to focus on reliability. Generators are a lot like fire extinguishers. Hopefully, you never have to use it. But when you do, it better perform flawlessly. There are a lot of competitors out there whose only goal is to separate you from your money. Whether the generator actually performs in an emergency, well, that's not really a concern. Instead of taking a big risk on a cheap fire extinguisher, call Tropical Generator today for a reliable generator system. I offer you 17 years of experience doing expert generator installations, a 4-year degree in electrical engineering, and the highest level Florida licenses in electrical and gas contracting. I also live in Fort Myers and have personally selected and trained every one of our employees. At Tropical Generator, we're big enough to help and small enough to care. Call today, 239-206-4509 or tropicalgenerator.com. That's 239-206-4509 or on the web at tropicalgenerator.com. License EC 13007873.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
It's Rockstar Harley's Triple Zero event. 0 cash down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until after summer on any new Harley this week only. Rockstar Harley has the largest Harley inventory in South Florida with over 300 bikes in stock. Rockstar Harley has secured financing terms that can save you thousands on interest. No cash down, no payments, no interest until fall. Annual percentage rates such as 1.99% and no payments until September on any new Harley at Rockstar Harley's Triple Zero event. Now through Sunday. No payments for 120 days, no interest for 90 days with approved credit.
Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Call today for a free consultation. Discount to military, first responders, and Biden voters who wish they voted for Trump now, as well as Trump voters. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I believe Congressman Byron Donald's coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll, I'm sure, comment about last night. First, the top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
the University of Pennsylvania, certainly not a bastion of conservatism, has looked at the Biden jobs plan and said it will create no new net jobs and will cause a lower GDP. But here's my overarching thought about it, David. The words of this speech sounded like what you would hear from a 15-year-old if you gave him a credit card with no credit limit on it, except the words came out of the mouth of an adult who should know better.
There's Chris Christie talking about the speech last night and the fact that a U of Penn study or a study in Pennsylvania talking about no new net jobs, but no, climate change jobs, lots of jobs. Yeah, no, not going to happen. And then the credit card, yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Number 4.
What also struck me was that this was not a message that was a Donald Trump message at all. He was not speaking to the base of the party, except in one area where he was refusing to give Joe Biden any credit on COVID-19. He said the tide had already turned on COVID-19 when Biden became president. And, of course, everybody understands that Operation Warp Speed happened under Joe Biden, but getting vaccines into arms was a Biden operation.
What? Yeah, that was CNN in the analysis of the speech and saying, it wasn't like a Trump speech. No, they were telling the truth, like how Operation Warp Speed happened under Biden. Anybody want any fact checkers out there? Can we get that fact checked?
Number 3.
I have experienced the pain of discrimination. I know what it feels like to be pulled over for no reason, to be followed around the store while I'm shopping. I remember every morning at the kitchen table, my grandfather would open the newspaper and read it, I thought. But later I realized he had never learned to read it. He just wanted to set the right example. I've also experienced a different kind of intolerance. I get called Uncle Tom and the N-word by progressives, by liberals. Just last week, a national newspaper suggested my family's poverty was actually privilege because a relative owned land generations before my time.
Tim Scott, the Senator Tim Scott, South Carolina, there with the Republican response yesterday. And upon saying that, the Uncle Tim, it was trending on Twitter. And some of the most vile things you can imagine being said by the left in this country. But nothing to see here. Move along. Yeah, that's no problem there.
Number 2.
What was that? Okay, let's try that again.
Number 2.
We're in competition with China and other countries to win the 21st century. We're at a great inflection point in history. We have to do more than just build back better. We have to build back better.
Oh, some of the many gaffes last night from Joe Biden. Listen, we got to build. Not only do we have to build back better, we have to build back better. I think he forgot to I don't know, maybe continue. The better is really what he meant. And you know, if he just would read off the teleprompter, he just would have known that.
Number 1.
Well, it's time to remember that we, the people, are the government. You and I. Not some force in a distant capital. Not some powerful force that we have no control over. It's us. It's we, the people.
We are the government. So we're not we the people, we're we the government. That was one of the striking things I think that Joe Biden said last night.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Oh, and there were many, many others. And Congressman Byron Donalds joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. And like many people, unfortunately, had to watch, had to witness, had to be part of it, had to see it, had to hear it. And your thoughts as we start the morning. First of all, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Drew. First thing I'll tell you is that I am really happy I did not go back to D.C. for that speech. I don't want to increase my carbon footprint any larger than it is, so I'm glad that I just listened to it. It was a typical liberal speech, Drew. All the platitudes, all the plans, no substance, no talk about how you're actually going to pay for it, demonizing capitalism, demonizing tax policy. Drew, one thing people don't understand, and let me take the time to explain this. Yeah. Under the Trump tax cuts, the dreaded Trump tax cuts that Joe Biden vilified last night, the federal government raised more tax revenue than at any point in American history adjusted for inflation. Under the Trump tax cuts, The federal government took in more tax revenue than at any point in American history. He wants to raise taxes. All it's going to do is stifle our economy. And when you tack on the fact of what he wants to do to our national debt, and everybody knows we're at $30 trillion now. Apparently later this year, we're going to have to deal with a debt ceiling increase and all these other things coming after that. Drew, let me explain how this is really going to work. Mm-hmm. Our economy is really about $18 trillion. There comes a point where even our economy, which is vast and is the best economy in the world, there's a point where even our economy can't handle this level of debt. We thought it was 15 trillion, 20 trillion, 25 trillion, but we're coming to that point. This president just wants to try to find a way to put his face on Mount Rushmore. He wants his legacy. He has taken the Bernie Sanders platform and has made it his entire administration. That's why you don't hear Bernie Sanders upset. That's why you don't hear Ocasio-Cortez upset, because he's doing exactly what they want, and he's doing it with the facade that he's moderate Joe who's getting older in age, and it's just your grandpa that you really like.
Yeah.
I mean, this is terrible what's going on in the country.
Yeah, FDR on steroids. I mentioned it earlier. The things that even the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal was mentioning. The largest tax increase since 1968, a spending blowout unseen since the 60s, bias towards big labor unseen since the 1935 Wagner Act. I mean, it goes on, and all of the things that he's trying to do that will clearly destroy the country, as you just described. And some of the things in particular that you can speak to directly because of your experience, and that is that I of course, I'm going to be upset about it. But again, the idea that he's saying this because there are people that are just going to lap it up. When he said specifically that, you're always talking about cutting taxes. And what about the raising of taxes? So where are we going to cut the taxes from? Where are we going to get the money from? Well, the other question should be asked too, right, Congressman, which is, how about you stop the spending? You didn't even talk about that part of it, and we're not even allowed to talk about it. We're talking about the kind of $6 trillion in 100 days is proposed by this president. And yet he's looking at this as, well, where do you plan on cutting there, all you conservatives? What are you going to do about that? Without even mentioning the whole cause of what the issue is, which is the spending.
Well, look, first things first. I mean, if we're going to cut spending, the first thing we need to do is not spend money we don't have. And I sent out a tweet. I'm like, this whole American jobs plan is spending trillions of dollars we don't have on liberal policies we don't need. And that's really what that is. Right. But let's also be very honest, Drew. Both parties have never done a good job controlling spending.
Yep.
That's the reality.
Yep.
And you can really say it's the broken window theory when it comes to spending other people's money. When you have Congress who just decides to drop willy-nilly $25 million into a program that nobody really knows anything about because it's never been questioned, but it sounds good, so you got to support it. That's how you get to the place where people can now say, oh, we'll spend $1.5 trillion, and people just say, oh, that's just too much money, as opposed to just saying, like, hold up, what are we even spending money on? Some of the stuff that I talk with my freshman colleagues, we literally just got to the place, and we're like, well, what does this program do? What does that program do? Why are we doing this program? Is this even being done in other federal agencies? And the answer we get from staff is, well, yeah, they are doing this in other places, but they have to increase it for this. There needs to be a complete mental overhaul in Washington, D.C. when it comes to spending money, because the place is just addicted to just filling out budget sheets with no justification for what these programs even are for and what the actual impacts are. You can add the president's plans last night. What he wants to do is actually going to cripple us. And he started his speech talking about, oh, I want to make sure Americans have good paying jobs that they can raise a family on. Well, tell that to the families of the Keystone Pipeline, because they had good paying jobs. They were raising their families. This president comes in and says, no, I don't like those jobs. We'll get you other jobs with free college and job training that you actually might make, money again 6 to 8 years from now. That's how reckless this president is. And this media, I listened to some of their coverage. They were like, oh, this is a Rooseveltian speech with the imagery and history of Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. Look, I'm very happy actually for the advancement of our country that you have a female serving as vice president and a female serving as speaker of the House. That's a very good thing. Don't get me wrong. But if your ideology sucks, that's a bad thing for America. And their ideology sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, flat out. That is true. And, I talked about this earlier, and then we can move on to a couple of other things. The fact that We have all of these programs in place, trillions of dollars of programs that have been spent over the years. What's Head Start if not government preschool education and child care? We're in school lunches and the women, infants, and children programs supposed to prevent child hunger, food stamps, welfare checks, child care subsidies, supplements to earn income, plus public housing. All of these programs and more from previous decades, trillions of dollars spent, and now we need more. The Wall Street Journal bringing all of that up is an important point. And then to what you said is, as he opens up the speech and creating jobs, there's a big difference between a president that says we're going to create jobs and the government's going to do it, and a president who says we're going to create new jobs by allowing the free market to do it, by taking regulations off of them and the things that are holding them back from being able to, taxes and other things as well. And that's how it's going to be created. That's another differential that I don't think people get. I mean, you certainly do, and you've articulated that before, but I think that is a critical thing for people to understand. It's cradle-to-grave government care versus a capitalism, free market, and the Constitution ruling the day.
Listen, 100% correct. The biggest misconception now is you have people who say, well, trickle down doesn't work and you need to invest in the middle class, quote unquote. Well, what does that mean, invest in the middle class? Do you want know-nothings like Joe Biden, who the only thing they know how to do is be in the U.S. Senate and now be in the White House, quote unquote, investing? Or do you want companies through the sweat of your brow and the fruits of your labor actually investing in you? I would prefer companies invest in me because I have a direct return. I have more personal control over what I earn in life than waiting for the government and politicians to decide what check they want to send out today or what check they want to send out tomorrow. That's no way to live. You're waiting for somebody else to get you what you need. That's the road to serfdom. And so for me, and I think for a lot of people, when they talk about these investments, people have to understand that when the government, quote unquote, invests, they're taking from us to give to us. That is not the purpose of our government. Our government's purpose is to actually protect individual liberties, do the things on a global level we cannot do, like, treaties that are supposed to go to the Senate and making sure we have a military to defend the country and defend the homeland. And that's about it. Coin money and protect immigration. Like, that's really the whole goal of the federal government. What it has become from Woodrow Wilson to FDR to LBJ to Barack Obama and even now, I guess, Joe Biden, is this nanny state that can do all things but can't do anything because you have to deal with bureaucrats and know-nothings who've never built anything in the real world, in the real economy.
Yeah, and that's going to be moving forward the challenge, right? And you could probably speak to this as well, which is we need fighters. We need people that are political fighters that are going to be there and be willing to. And I'll say it too, and Republicans who are not going to give lip service. I don't care about Mitch McConnell saying, well, there he goes. He told me we were going to have unity. And well, so what? I mean, I know you're saying that, but that doesn't help to move forward what we need to move forward. The talk about, well, they're not doing this, and Joe Biden said he was going to do this, and isn't it awful that, well, okay, I get it. You have to throw all of that out. But at the end of the day, what are you doing? What are we doing? What is the party doing to make sure that this is going to be stopped? I'm assuming in 2022, if everybody is saying, if it's true what's going to be happening, you're going to have the House and the Senate in the hands of Republicans. I mean, over history, that's what we have seen. And if that's going to end up happening, is there going to be discussions of repeals? Is there going to be discussions of what we can possibly do? Is it going to happen, or is it going to be lip service? We can't have lip service anymore. Those days, well, they were over a long time ago. They are truly over right now. Do we have fighters?
We do, and there are more on the way. I'm talking with a lot of candidates now from across the state and across the country, people who I know are sick and tired of it, just like you are, Drew, and they're going to go up there with a mission. A lot of my freshman colleagues, our mindset's very different. We don't really care about how Washington has worked. We want to fix it and we want to change it. And our internal conversations to leadership is, when we take back the House, run the play. We know what the policies are, file the bills, and pass them. And let's not hide and negotiate amongst ourselves because the media is throwing talking points at us. Because guess what? The media hates our guts anyway. They are not on our side. They don't want conservative principles to actually work in this country because most of them are liberals who also happen to have journalism attached to their title. And so the reality is that we have to push forward with an agenda. We cannot be afraid of it. We have to move forward. And it's important to understand, Drew, the most consequential Republican, quote unquote, politicians in our lifetimes have been men and women who are just like, no, this is what we're doing. It works, and we're not playing politics. And when we do that, voters respond and independents respond. And it's important for Republican leadership to understand that. I'm pushing on that. And we're going to start releasing policy. Like, look, here's the plan for this. Here's the plan for Social Security. Here's the plan for Medicare. I know you're not supposed to talk about those things, but guess what, folks? Social Security and Medicare, they go insolvent in 6 years. You didn't hear anything about it from the president last night, and you won't, because all they want to do is borrow money to backfill all the promises that they made. Joe Biden is probably not even running for a second term. He just wants his legacy. And the crazy left, they don't even think deficits matter. They really don't think it matters. They think you could spend whatever you want to achieve the goals that you need. Yeah. That's who we're dealing with in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Congressman, I appreciate it. Appreciate the call as always. Congressman Byron Donalds joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. All right, my friend. We'll see you soon, okay? All the best. All right, there he goes.
All right.
Yeah, and, to his point, and we can go, Jake, and it's this. And I brought this up earlier, and it's a tough thing to swallow, but it is what it is. Democrats don't care about winning in 22. Damage is done. They won. You can debate on how the winning happened, and I agree with you, but that's where we are. They're going to push this. They're going to make all this happen. They're going to drop this now. They could care less about 2022 because even if they were to lose as a party, they still get what they want done now because they have the power to be able to do it. The only way that things can change in the future is to make sure that at a local level, we are the farm team to cultivate, to create what will be the next leadership, like Congressman Byron Donalds, to make their way to Washington, D.C., to demand the changes that you all want, to make that happen, to do the real repeals and the things that need to be stopped. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Glenn Beck is next. Forecast right now. Wake News meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. If I can wrap up your forecast in a few